2, 1. Hey guys, I'm just gonna let the music play for a minute while we're just gonna let some people to come in here very quickly. So be right back in just a couple minutes, okay?
That was pretty good. I think the delay was only like a handful of seconds.
They can still hear you.
Oh, good.
You like that? You like my dancing snake, everybody?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice.
It's even better with the original music. He actually dances to Tarzan Boy by Baltimora. Now, how appropriate. All alone out in the jungle, like Tarzan Boy. Hey, guys. Let me see if I can bring up the chat here. There we go. 46 people. Hey, Wired Games. Hey, Emerald Queen and Alina. Good to see you, as always. Hey, Robert Emmanuel. Good to see you. So what the hell is this? What you just saw is art. Hey, Rob. Good to see you too, man. All right. So, back by popular demand, a lot of people seem to really like the streams that we did of Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. And people were wondering, hey, were you ever going to do Metal Gear Solid 3? And we were thinking, yeah, but the idea was to do it with Patrick, right? With Gaming University, because the whole point of those streams was to slowly introduce him to the franchise. Something fall downstairs? Jesus, do you guys hear that? Anyways, ADHD. But we didn't want to do Metal Gear Solid 3 because we really wanted Patrick to play it himself, because we wanted him to play at least one game from that franchise on his own, and what better than to play the game that most people tend to think is the best. I don't think that. Steve doesn't think that, but that's what everybody else thinks.
That's because we're real fans.
Yes, exactly. Real fans of Metal Gear Solid know that Metal Gear Solid 2 is the best. Thank you very goddamn much.
It's a joke, of course, but I just want to make that clear so none of your audience hates me.
We're being slightly facetious. Only slightly, though. And speaking of true fans, we do have, returning from those previous streams, the man who famously coined the final codec conversation in Metal Gear Solid 2 as the most profound moment in gaming history. He is LogosSteve. What's going on, man?
It's good. It's good to be back. You know, getting through life one day at a time. Mm-hmm. Losing money on the stock market. Yeah, really good at losing money on the stock market. Let me tell you.
Very few people are good at making money in the stock market. You got to have the mathematical mind for it to, with all those derivative formulas and all that. I mean, I think you're a brilliant dude, but very few people are that brilliant. If you have
the thing is, I actually made a lot of money on the stock market.
Really?
until I decided to put all my money into one stock and just say fuck it because I trust the stock. Because in a few years, I'm like 98% sure it'll be 5 to 10 times what it's worth now. So GameStop? I was getting really bored. No, that's a momentary thing.
Okay.
It's actually this company called QuantumScape, which is the first to proclaim that they have a multi-layered solid-state battery working, and that they are going to start mass producing it. There's some talk that Apple might acquire them and start making electric vehicles.
Oh.
So Tesla was a smart buy. They're going to lose in a few years to whoever comes out with solid state batteries first. At least as of like a year ago or so, and the engineers basically said, we don't think it's that great. So they basically signed their own death warrant because solid-state batteries are not only going to contain more energy, they will be cheaper to manufacture, use less exotic materials, and more importantly, they will actually charge dramatically faster than conventional or whatever Tesla's calling their lithium cells these days.
Okay.
So
you're thinking it's going to be Apple then?
I mean, because there's multiple companies that are like competing to get the first solid state batteries to market. So it could be them. It could be like one of 3 other companies. It depends. Apple, yeah, I mean, like Google's in the game, kind of. They're at least in the game for the software side of things. So I wouldn't be surprised if Apple wants to get into it too.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about money. I wish I did. I wish I paid
Oh, no,
more.
it's okay. One day I will get a team together and we will make a spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid. I'll bring you on board. We'll take care of you, Max.
Okay, just as long as there's a carrot named Max Ferret.
Yes, I remember Max Ferret.
We had a deal, Steve. But yeah, if you guys want a solid stock market advice, make sure to hit up LogosSteve on Twitter. I'll be making sure to do that in regards to this whole lithium battery thing. So Metal Gear Solid 3, we're going to start playing this in just a second, but before I do, I never really talked to you about Metal Gear Solid 3. I think we can both agree that it's a great game, but just on the whole, where does it rank for you in terms of the overall Metal Gear series?
Basically in exactly the same place that Kojima famously tweeted his first 4 games in order of importance. It's third.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 2, then 1, then 3, then 4.
Yeah, that's yeah.
From a thematic point of view, even if you just look at the number of the themes that he works into games, the order of that works out that way too, which is probably what I'm going to talk about in my video on this. Because he's really slimmed them down for 3. He's made the story a lot more conventional, and I mean, obviously he went nuts in Metal Gear Solid 2. And Metal Gear Solid 1, though, is fairly similar to 3, you would think, but
it's more of a balance.
There are a lot more themes. He just shoved a lot more themes into 1 than 3. 3 is like only got the main one, and then there really is only like another 1 or 2 in there. He's really slimmed it down and streamlined it, which is, in my opinion, should be a dirty word in most cases. But I believe, because Super Bunny Hop, I still remember in his critical analysis, he claimed something to the effect of, but they're all the postmodern themes are still there, and I'm like,
not really.
Not as many of them are there. Yeah, like the main one or two, they're there. You know.
Yeah, like
the whole we've
post-truth
got the anti-nationalism theme, which has really been, you know, woven into a very interesting tapestry in this game, which is the loyalty to the end is the positive way to say it. But I will basically argue that the games are very anti-nationalistic overall. Or this game is in particular.
Well, that's the thing. It's an honest investigation of all different sides of the issue, because it is very anti-nationalist. But even when Big Boss goes on to create his private corporation with the Militaires Sans Frontières, then the Diamond Dogs, and obviously Outer Heaven, that all went to shit, right? So it's all about bringing it back to you as an individual and how well you can live a moral life. And I think that's sort of where Solid Snake and Raiden come in, right? And how they're sort of like the big heroes that everybody looks up to. And that's sort of the solution to the problem of nationalism and post-truth and all that stuff.
I mean, I'm eventually going to have to make a video talking about how a lot of Kojima's story structure and his themes really come back to Buddhism, a big picture-wise, which is almost strange because he really buys really heavy into the whole Buddhism idea that the world is an illusion. I mean, in a very literal sense in Metal Gear Solid 2, and in the figurative sense in terms of all the organizations that control all the pawns and all the schemes in the entire series.
This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
So on the flip side of that is, of course, the whole message of, you know, find something to believe in and fight for it, which is very blatantly Gray Fox's line near the end of Metal Gear Solid 1 and Solid Snake's line to Raiden basically in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
That's you know, the whole idea of be an individual, think for yourself is really the ultimate theme there, and not to let these larger forces weigh you down, whether it's again like genes, memes, or nations, or whatever have you.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, and in part it's also somewhat of a Western thematic way of approaching it, because the West is pretty much predicated on the importance of individual.
Well, because he goes for such an individualist perspective.
Very quickly, just want to note Zion Onvine, one of my wonderful full moderators for my Discord server. He sends in $6.90 because we're both children, I suppose. Metal Gear Solid 3 was my first Metal Gear title. I still need to play through it again. Still got DMC 3 to get through as well. Soon, TM. Yeah, I actually bought a bunch of Devil May Cry games for Christmas. I still need to get around to them. I just don't have time.
Oh snap! Yeah, 1, 3, 4, and 5. No one plays 2. It was made by a different studio at Capcom that didn't really do a good job. 3 was generally considered like the greatest action game ever made. That involved using a sword. In any way, so yeah, you got people who are like the vanguards of the series that say the Devil May Cry 5 is the best now, but 3 is still a masterpiece of, I think, storytelling and game design. It's great.
Is that the one that everybody generally considers to be really difficult, or is that 4?
I'm actually not sure. I only 100%ed 1 and 4. I was in the middle of 3 and then I dropped it when I was doing the HD collection on the 360 at some point. I can't remember my originally playing it on the PS2 very well, so...
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
Haha, you're so funny.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
/0/ whatever your name is.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump. 10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
Quick question to the live chat. How would you rank the Metal Gear Solid games, each of you personally? Steve just did 2, 1, 3, 4. Where would you put 5 in that?
That's a really good question.
For me,
I'd probably put it last. I have no choice because thematically, it's the sloppiest and weakest of all the games. Even though I think the gameplay
Is the best.
is probably the best. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's 2-1-5-3-4, just because I was so impressed by the gameplay. Like, I probably share a lot of the same criticisms that you have of the story, but it's just because I found myself wasting so much time with that game that, it was probably...
I did sink over 100 hours into 5. Like,
Yeah, you
almost the
did.
exact same hours I sunk into 5, I sunk into Death Stranding. Very close.
And I seem to recall correctly that, according to like PlayStation stats, that you were one of the first 10 people in the world to finish that game.
That's correct. Death Stranding, I was worse. I was like 36th. I wasn't really as fast as for 5.
Only 36th.
Yeah, only 36. I mean, for me, that's low, because I have multiple games where I was under the 10th person in the world to get to it, so...
His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov.
Like the original Dead Space, I was 8, if I remember correctly.
How? I don't understand.
Well, when you go to college and you have a dorm, and your classes are easy, and you're just playing games all day. That was when Dead Space came out. I was just like, psh. I remember Dead Space so fucking fondly. Like, you know, you got Resident Evil 4, you got The Evil Within, and you got Dead Space. For like the best horror action shooters of all time. So,
sorry, say that again. Dead Space.
It goes I go with Resident Evil 4, then The Evil Within, then Dead Space for like my favorite. I guess I would call them like action horror shooters, like the subgenre that Resident Evil 4 basically is. That's very specific to Resident Evil 4. That it's like it's got the horror element. It's got the resource management, but it's also got a heavy action focus.
Yes.
So,
The Evil Within was so good.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand. Like, there are a lot of people that really don't like that game for some reason, and I don't get
I'm
it.
blown away. I don't get it. It's basically just Resident Evil 4's successor in every possible conceivable way.
It's Resident Evil plus Silent Hill, and that's
I know.
like heaven for me.
Oh yeah. It's they really know what they're doing at Tango. I can't wait for their next game. I don't know. Did they cancel Ghostwire, or was it still going on?
No,
I can't remember.
It's still good. They just had the one chick, the waifu for Laifu, leave the company.
Oh yeah, I remember her. She was great.
Yeah, she is great.
She was great.
But yeah, no, it is still going on.
The old guard of the great Japanese developers still live on here and there, I guess.
Praise be to Shinji Mikami.
Yeah.
Fallen Angle Johan. I don't know what currency that is, but they sent in 20 of it. They said DMC2 best.
That's a joke. That's a good joke.
Trolling? Well, if you are trolling, thank you for your money. If you're not, thank you for your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie Garcia, 10 out of 10 for MGS 123. I agree. 32154. Yeah, a couple people say 4 is at the end. Yeah, that's the same
That's
for me.
fair.
Yeah.
I basically put it second to last. It's very debatable for me between 4 and 5. Honestly.
Yeah, it's yeah. I just, even though I love Metal Gear Solid 4, it is a bit of a mess, at least in some respects. Couldn't finish 5 after fighting Sahelanthropus.
That's fair. I think the problem is there are very few pieces of media that have their climax in the middle of the story, and Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of those, which is incredibly stupid. But it also is probably a result of a development that was ambitious and got really time constrained near the end, clearly. I think he clearly wanted to make it go more interesting places after that part of the story. But the only other piece of media I've seen there's 2 other pieces of media I've seen that have their climax basically in the middle of the story, and that's actually Death Note and the Gen Urobuchi anime Psycho Pass, which is, one of the greatest anime of all time, along with Death Note being probably also one of the greatest animes of all time.
Yeah, from what I understand, a lot of people consider that one to be the greatest.
Oh yeah, it's totally fair. I mean, it's written in a way that's absolutely brilliant. It's like God, I saw such a brilliant video explaining this. I think Big Joel has a video on it that's quite good,
Then a month ago,
where he just talks about like,
from one of our
it's
models.
basically, and there was another YouTuber who talked about how it does exposition better than anything else, because you're actually not exposited until after you want to know the exposition, because you see something happen that you want explained, and then their explanation makes it better, as opposed to normally stories tell you exposition first before you give a shit, which immediately makes you check out. Death Note is much better at that because they actually let things happen first that make you curious, so then you want the exposition. I think it was like, I wish I could remember. I think it was writing in games, or I can't remember the name of the channel. Nerd Writer. I think that was that one. And then Big Joel makes a really good argument, I thought, which is that Death Note also does this brilliant thing where it's like a very true detective type story where you're front loaded before things happen with seemingly enough information that you don't really know where it's going to go, but you might be able to figure something out beforehand. So
This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
I'm probably butchering exactly.
Sorry, I
how
muted
we
myself.
done that, but, that's okay.
Yeah, I did actually watch a little bit of Death Note a few months ago, and it's really good.
Oh yeah, I really recommend sticking until it climaxes, and then you can check out. But until then, it's a really good ride for the most part. There's like one part that it kind of meanders a little before it gets to that first climax, but it did a pretty good job.
I've actually got a friend of mine that's been slowly introducing me to a couple anime. We're actually going to start Cowboy Bebop next, and then after that, probably Attack on Titan.
Oh, there you go. Shout out to Cowboy Bebop. Someone in the chat mentioned it too. I highly recommend, if you watch Cowboy Bebop, you also watch the two other space westerns that came out literally in the same year that are, in my opinion, also top quality, which is Trigun and Outlaw Star. I actually far prefer those over Cowboy Bebop because they actually have more of a solid narrative structure that progresses, as opposed to Cowboy Bebop, which is much more an episodic show.
Trigun, I'm just writing this down because I want to point this out to her later. Outlaw Star?
Yep.
Gotcha. Cool.
I literally have all three of those in a video I made years and years and years ago. My Ghost in the Shell Part 2 video, I actually have a screenshot of all three of those. Right over Gaijin Guma saying Japan has problems with being original, but they can take anything perfected and call it their own. And I put over that audio, I put examples of space western, and then I put Star Wars, and then I put the three best anime space westerns of all time, which is Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Outlaw Star, which came out very close to each other in the 90s. And I'm sure a lot of people are aware of Firefly, which is a show Joss Whedon did. He basically ripped off the premise of Outlaw Star for it, and made, of course, a show that wasn't as good, but at least he was ripping off something good. So.
Yeah, kind of like what the Wachowski brothers did with The Matrix. They did that with Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, totally. Though thankfully the Wachowski brothers got their inspiration primarily from that Doctor Who episode I go into my video in detail about.
Forgive me, Wachowski
no,
sisters.
It's true. Yes. I'm smart, and I've always called them the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
So I don't even gender them. So that makes it easier. But yeah, I'm assuming you can just say sisters now. We're cool.
Yeah.
Since they both transitioned now and it's official. It's really crazy. ContraPoints was actually talking about some famous trans icon who Twitter wanted to cancel because, get this, he outed, I believe, Lily Wachowski in an article in the early 2000s, but he didn't know she was trans, so he called her a cross-dressing man at the time because he didn't actually know that she was trans. Yeah. It was this whole kerfuffle that ContraPoints was trying to tell people on Twitter to calm down and don't cancel a man over something he might have said because he was in, like, he didn't know what was going on at the time, and he was upset because I think his either boyfriend or girlfriend, I don't even know, his partner at the time had cheated on him with Lily Wachowski at the time, who was not yet out as Lily Wachowski.
The other one's Lana, I think.
I believe so.
Okay.
God, I can't remember myself. I don't remember the first names.
Hey, guys, just so you know, we have about 10 more minutes of cutscenes here. It's Metal Gear, as you can understand. That's why we're talking over it.
I'll be referring to you as
the
Snake
first
from now on.
half an
Not
hour
to
of this
mention your
game,
real name.
you're just sitting there, really. You're not actually playing
Well,
it,
you
so
don't
that's
like
why we're
snakes?
talking over it.
What do you mean?
One person
You've eaten one
actually
before, haven't
In
brought up
survival training.
something that I'd like to get your opinion on.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd
So-
ever
I
order
can't
one
remember
at
who
a
said it.
restaurant, but
Be careful. You might
Wired
not have a
Games.
choice.
Wired
about
Games
you,
said
Major?
remakes are
What should I
killing
call
gaming.
you?
I
Let's
understand
see.
why you'd
I'll
say
be-
that. It's
I'll be
because
Tom. Call me
a
Major
lot of
Tom.
people are requesting remakes more, and you
Oh,
think
and
that
Snake.
diverts
The crew isn't watching anymore.
attention
Take off the
and
disguise
productivity away from
Good idea.
original IPs.
This
And that's
isn't
true.
Right.
However, let me make
Time for the
a
snake to
devil's
shed its
advocate
skin.
argument for remakes and why we need them. There are some games that have come out in the past that are aging, that aren't as easy to play anymore because you don't have the systems, or maybe the controls are a bit outdated. But nonetheless, there are certain aspects of them that are so archetypally good that very few games that come out in the future, new IPs, whatever, or sequels and pre-existing franchises, are going to live up to what came before. And I think Metal Gear Solid is definitely going to be one of those franchises more and more as years go on. And I think in that respect, to make sure that future generations have the ability to play these games, we do need remakes. But the problem is, you just got to find the balance between how many new IPs should we have and how many remakes should we have. And what do you think about that, Steve?
That's pretty well said.
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is
I feel like I
Snake.
should address some
Kept you
people in the
waiting,
chat
huh?
real quick. I'm
This
scrolling
will
through. I'm
be
seeing
a
some stuff.
sneaking mission. You must not be seen
Shout
by
out
the enemy.
to
You must leave
Louis
no trace of your
Tenma.
presence.
Monster is
Is
an
that clear?
excellent show.
This kind
Another
of
anime that's
infiltration
in like
is
the
for
top
Fox
list of all
units and
time.
reality.
I never
In
finished
other
it,
words,
so I can't really
weapons and
talk.
equipment
Someone
are
mentioned
secure
they're
on
asking
site.
how you're getting along with
That goes for
Berserk.
food as well.
Oh,
You're completely
guys,
naked,
I
just
haven't
as your name
finished.
implies.
I haven't gone past volume
Now I
14
see
yet.
why
I just
you
haven't
asked
had
me if I
time.
like
I've
snakes. I
been so
suppose calling
busy
me
with all,
Snake was
like,
your
ever
idea
since
of
I've
joke,
done
too.
the Berserk video, my
There's a good reason for that.
daily
I'll
life
tell you later when
has
the
just
time
been
is
go,
right.
go, go. I haven't
Gotcha.
had time to sit
Getting
down
back
and
to the
read.
subject.
How,
Exactly what I'm
however,
supposed to
hopefully,
be myself.
after this
You've
new
been issued
video
a
that I
knife
have
and a
coming out, which is
tranquilizer
going to
gun.
be
Use them to
another
hunt for
video on
food.
the Dark
You'll
Souls
also find
/
some medical
Bloodborne
supplies in your
universe,
backpack.
I will hopefully get back to reading
Yeah,
more
about the
Berserk.
backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back
Someone
and get
mentioned
it.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes,
where
which
it
is
is?
one that I really owe to
No
myself to
problem.
watch
I
that
can
I
see
still
it from
haven't
here.
too. God.
It's stuck on a branch.
Somebody mentioned before, and I forgot to respond just until now.
climb a tree,
Azura's
stand
Wrath.
in
No, I've
front
never
of the
played
tree
it, and I
that's
don't
covered
think
in
I've ever
ivy
heard of
and
it.
press
Have
the
you,
action
Steve?
button.
I have heard of it.
I'll be monitoring
also
your
not
progress
played
over
it,
the
though.
radio.
Okay.
We can't risk
I will at
violating
some
Soviet
point because I
airspace
have
without
heard it
being the gunship.
occasionally mentioned here and there
My
as
frequency
being
is
fairly interesting.
140.85.
Something they did that was incredibly
I'll give you
egregious,
a
though,
call
is
if I
that
need
the
to
story
talk.
doesn't end unless you have the
You need to
DLC.
talk to me.
It's
use
very
the send
silly that they
function.
did that, but
What?
you know,
Okay, Snake.
that's right.
Go get
The
your
end of the
backpack.
story is in the DLC. That's right. Yep.
So they were pulling
I mean,
a
now it
EA.
doesn't matter because you can just get whatever you want. But I've never heard of a game that does that. But I've been told explicitly that it does that at some point. I read that or something.
Mass Effect 3.
Well, the end of the story is there. It's just not very satisfying ending.
Right.
God.
And
I could make a video one day talking about the reception to Mass Effect 3's ending. But I've been basically ripping off Instigative Journalism's video about the ending of Mass Effect 3 because I think he did a better job than I'm probably going to do. But it's just fascinating. It's one of those things that's been so many years we can look back at it and no one's going to really get angry with me for me talking about it. And talk about how, like, look, if you look
I
at
see
the
you've
time,
retrieved
game
your
journalists
backpack,
were
Snake.
actually on the side of
To equip a weapon, it's
the
necessary to
developer
take it
and
out of
basically
your
like, who are
backpack.
these entitled little
In the
shits that aren't
survival
satisfied with their
viewer,
video
choose
game kind of thing,
weapon
which was
from the backpack.
baffling to me.
Your
Because it's
available
like,
weapons will be
bro,
displayed in a window in the
fans
upper
can
left.
be disappointed
From
in
that list,
something,
choose the weapon you want to equip
and they should
and press the enter
listen.
button.
and
But other
understand
equipped
why.
items just do the same thing
And it's
from
just
item.
baffling because that's actually, I think that the problem with
Yep,
what
that's
made
right.
Gamergate such a
Survival
shitstorm
is
is that there's a
fundamental
lot
to
of
this
kernel
mission.
of truth in the
After
fact
you've been
that
out in the field for a while,
in
your
fact, it is
stamina will
literally
start to
true
drop.
because there's a lot of
If
evidence
stamina
that came
gets
out
too
at the
low,
time
it'll
about it.
affect
But
your performance.
that gaming
You
journalists
won't be able to shoot
legitimately
accurately, for
have
example.
some level of
Your
contempt
wounds
for
won't
the
heal as
fans
smoothly.
of people
Keep an
or
eye on
fans
your
of video
stamina so you
games.
don't run
Oh
out.
yeah.
And well,
To
you know,
recover
it's
lost
so
stamina, you can
disappointing
hunt for local
because it's
flora
so
and fauna.
obvious that they
You can use
basically
either
view
your
themselves
tranquilizer
as
gun or
somehow
your knife
removed
to
from
hunt.
people who play video games and judge them.
22 hush puppy
Because, you know, if we didn't have that, like in the
That's
Mass
right.
Effect 3
It's been fitted
controversy
with its
years
own
before,
suppressor.
is that things
However,
really
the
blew
suppressor
up
will
later,
deteriorate every
that it
time
wouldn't
you
have
fire.
gotten so messy
Once
at the
its
time,
durability
I think.
reaches zero, the noise
The internet's a
suppression
very
effect will be
strange
gone.
place.
Too trigger happy with
Yeah,
it.
that's for sure.
The suppressor's durability is shown in the
Emerald Queen
icon.
says, I second what you
Any
said about
weapons and
needing
equipment
remakes,
beyond
Max.
what you're
Without
carrying now,
Reignited, Spyro would
you'll
still
have
be
to
a dead
find those you've
franchise
got.
after
I have to find
DOTD.
my own
What's
weapons and
DO?
equipment. Whose
Oh,
crazy
that's
idea
probably one of
was
the.
this anyway?
See, I'm not.
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I'm
Can't
pretty
leave
sure there was
any
a
traces
recent,
of your
they might be
presence.
referring to the
No
recent
weapons, equipment,
remake
footprints, sweat,
or
or bodily
remaster.
waste.
I'm not sure which one it was
The
called.
same
It's more of a
goes for bullets
remaster, I
and
think I
cartridges.
heard.
Yeah, no, I know
Your presence
the
in enemy
Reignited
territory
trilogy. That's
is
what they're
already
talking
a
about. I just don't know what
violation of
DOTD
international
stands
conventions
for.
of warfare.
Me either.
There aren't supposed to be
But
any
yeah, that's a
characters
great
always in
example
Russia.
because Spyro
It
3
could
Year of the
spark
Dragon
an
for
international
PlayStation 1 is one of my all-time
Can't let
favorite
anyone
games,
see
and I'm so
you.
goddamn
Can't let the
glad
enemy
that
know you're
they
there.
brought
This is
that,
a
that
stealth
game
mission.
back
You're a
for the
ghost snake
PS4 a
in
couple
every
years ago.
sense of the word. And there'll be no
Oh,
rescue
Dawn of the
if you're
Dragon.
captured.
The
Military
Automatic
US
91
government
says
will deny
Spyro is still
any
dead to me
involvement
until they
in
make a
the
Spyro 4.
Then I'll
Well,
just have to take
guess
care of
what, dude?
myself, huh?
It's pretty much
I'm
confirmed they
afraid
are
so.
making a Spyro
You've been
4.
given a
There's
fake
a
death
little bit
bill
of
for
a
that
teaser
purpose.
image
SIS guidelines
that somebody
stipulate that
found in
soldiers
like
on
a
covert ops
Crash
like this one
Bandicoot
issued a
4
potassium
piece of
cyanide
promo
capsule.
art.
Tape it to your
So it's
body
in the
so you can
works.
take it
It's
when
just
you
a
need
matter of
How generous of you.
when it's going to come out or when it's going to get announced
Use it if
officially.
you're taken prisoner by the enemy.
James McGuire
Send
says,
you
is
into a
this
state
the
of
first
false
Metal
death
Gear
for a
Solid
short
3
time.
live stream? This is the very first one on YouTube. I have streamed it on
So,
Twitch
how do I come back
a
to
few months
life?
ago, but
Just take the revival pill.
yeah,
You mean that thing they put in my
and they're
tooth
still
before
fucking
mission?
talking.
That's the one.
I am blown away
Be
by
careful.
that. I could have sworn
If
we
you
would
remain
have
in a
talked
state of
past
false
them by
death for
now.
too long,
We've
nothing
been
will be able to bring you
streaming
back.
for just over half an hour now, and they're still
Oh
fucking
my
talking.
god.
You
It's
said this was
amazing.
a solo
And you know
mission,
what's
right?
also messed
Right.
up? We still have yet
I guess
for
that
the
means
boss
I
to
can't
show up
count on
and say
any
her whole
Oh my,
spiel.
because that's the best
Correct.
part. That's what I could
Mission
go on and
rests
on about.
entirely in your
Yeah.
hands.
How brilliant,
Real
you know,
one-man army.
the writing is.
Relax. There's a
Low
support
key,
team ready to back you
my
up
my
over the
all-time
ring.
favorite video game character is the boss,
I'll introduce
and
them
when
to
she
you.
shows up,
This
we all
time,
gotta
Totally
engage in a
fair.
collective
But
odd
most
hush
important.
when she starts
The first
speaking.
member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition. Acting
Yeah,
as a medic, so to speak.
Yeah,
as well
I
as
kind of
recording
figured that
your
out
mission data.
for myself last night.
She's a
There's
member
this
of Fox
person
as
I've been
well,
talking to,
She's here on the gunship with me.
person that I've been talking to a lot. We've
Hello,
been sort of
Steve. I'm paramedic.
exchanging
Nice
like
to meet you.
top 5 and top 10 lists of favorite video
As
games.
an medic who comes in with
And
parachute.
she asked me
Aren't you going to
a
tell
couple
me
days
your
ago
real
what are
name?
my top 5
Are you
favorite
going to tell
video
me
game
yours, Mr.
characters.
Snake?
And
My name, huh? It's
yeah, it's
John Doe.
pretty
And
simple.
they call
It's
you
the
Jack
boss.
for short. I'm a regular
And we'll
Captain
we'll
Nemo.
talk a bit about
A
more why
name
the
means
boss
nothing on the
is
battlefield.
awesome when she shows
After
up in a
week,
second.
no one has a name. What's your name?
Ryan K says,
Jane Doe.
aka sorry,
Very
Ryan K,
funny.
aka Mc
I wasn't
and
joking,
what that?
but
What
I'll
kind
tell
of
you my
name is
name
that?
only if you manage to
Ryan
make it
says,
back
wait,
alive.
Max says fuck on
My
streams.
frequency is 145.73.
A lot of people are thrown
She's
off by
also
the
in
fact that I
charge of
tend to
recording
cuss a
your
lot
mission
during my
data.
live streams.
Whenever
It's
you
very
want to
much
save, send the
different
message
from
over
my,
the reserved save frequency.
you know, my gift of the silver tongue when it comes to my
So
video
saving lets
essays
me
and
record my
you
mission
know,
data.
seeming so
That's
sophisticated.
right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
But yes, I do
I was about
swear
to
like
say
a
the
That's
most
the
sailor.
person I
nerd
want
thing
to
I've ever
introduce you to,
said, but
Snake.
someone mentioned,
Speaking
let's
of
see,
snakes,
where is that?
you remember the
Metal Gear
boss,
Solid
don't you?
3, the best
A
PS2
legendary
movie in
soldier and
existence.
your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in
Echelon
the first
Icarus?
place.
God,
Yeah.
I could barely say that.
She's going to be serving as Fox Fox's
That
mission
reminds
advisor.
me, the nerdiest thing I ever did in my
Awesome.
life is
She
one
also
point
helped
I
me
went
plan
on a
this
date
mission.
with a girl and
She
we
and I
literally
were
just
SAS
watched
together.
the movie version of
Jack,
Metal
is
Gear
that
Solid
you?
3.
How many years has it been?
Did she enjoy
All
it?
the
That's
cutscenes.
right.
Yeah, she
It's
did.
me.
Dude, where is that woman now?
I have
Why
no
aren't you
idea.
still dating
Let
her?
me hear your voice.
Oh God, I wish
It's
life
been
worked that
5
way, man.
years, 72
She wasn't even that
days,
into
and
me.
18 hours.
That's the problem.
You've lost weight.
Anyways, here's the
Hell,
boss,
just by the
guys.
sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on
God
me
damn
all
it,
of a
Red
sudden?
Reaper. Why are you
I was
messing
on a
this up for
top
me?
secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No,
Like how to kiss.
I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique.
I could write a dissertation on the dialogue
technique
in this
doesn't even
game just in
matter.
this conversation
What's most
alone,
important is
almost.
Spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's
This
evil.
one's just dropping
Is that
truth
why you
bombs left
abandoned
and
me?
right.
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner
It's
or
just
later,
so
your
brilliant,
conscience is going to
God.
bother you. In the end, you have to choose
That's why
whether
she's
you're
called the
going to
boss,
live as a
man.
soldier
Yeah.
or just another man with a gun.
It's so
There's a
Japanese, of
saying in
course.
the Orient,
It's so
loyalty to
sad
the
that
end.
Western
Do you know what it
developers
means?
don't have the kind of
It means devoting yourself to
anti-war
your country.
streak that
I follow the
Japanese
president and
developers
the top
do.
brass.
Yeah, it's
I'm
always
willing
about
to die
American
for them if
exceptionalism,
necessary.
like with
God, it's so
COD, right?
bad.
President and the top
It's so
brass
bad.
won't be there
Like,
forever.
the
Once
most
their terms are
egregious
up,
crime
others
ever
will take their
committed by a
place.
writer of
I
a video
follow the
game
will of
was
the
the
leader,
writers
no matter
of
who's in charge.
the
People aren't the ones
2019
who
Call of
dictate
Duty.
nations.
Then who does?
They also
The
decided
times.
to just title
People's
Modern
values
Warfare to
change over
confuse
time.
everyone, as opposed to
And so do
Modern
the leaders
Warfare
of a country.
Call of Duty
So
4
there's
that
no
came out in
such thing as an enemy in
2007,
absolute
if I remember
terms.
right.
The enemies
But
we
anyway,
fight are
they
only
committed one of the
enemies
most
in relative
egregious
terms,
crimes that writer
constantly
can ever
changing with the
commit,
times.
which is to blame a war crime on a country
long
that
as we
didn't
have
commit it when the
loyalty to the
United
end,
States actually
there's
committed
no
it.
point in believing
They
in
literally
anything,
took a
even in
historical
those we
event
love.
in which the United
That's the
States
way a soldier's
massacred
supposed
people
to
on a
think.
road in
The only thing we can
fuck
believe
Iraq.
in,
I can't
absolute
remember.
certainty, is the
I
mission,
can't remember.
Jack.
I
All right.
Skill Up
But do me a
mentions it in his
favor.
review,
What
and
is it?
I never played
Call me
it,
Snake.
so I wouldn't have even
Snake.
known about this unless I
Oh,
saw
right.
Skill Up's
Your
review
codename
of
is
it.
Snake. It
And
suits you well.
it was just,
That's
it's just
right. The
baffling.
legendary unit that
Like,
the boss
those
put together during
writers,
World War II was a
I
snake,
would, if
the
I
Cobra
even
unit,
had
a
any
group of
ability
heroes
to, I
that
would
brought the war
fire
to an end
them,
and saved
and
the
I would
world.
fire anybody who
If
thought it
you've
was a
got
good
legendary
idea to
hero
have a
backing you up,
game
you'll be
that
fine.
was
Is
so
that right,
up
Snake?
America's ass that
Yeah.
it blamed a
I can't
war
think of
crime
anyone
the
else
country
I'd rather
committed
have
on
with
another
me.
country.
Oh,
And
one
it,
more
and like,
thing,
and they
boss.
blamed
Yes?
Russia.
It's
They
good to hear your
fucking
voice
blamed
again.
Russia for a war crime that
Same
the
here.
United States
After
actually
all,
committed,
who knows if either
which
of
is
us will
the
make it out
single
alive.
stupidest thing you
were
can
always
possibly
best at
do
urban
if you
warfare,
care about the
infiltrating
United States
buildings. But
reputation.
this is the jungle.
And the
Survival is
worst
going to
part
be
is,
key.
they're
Those
quoted in an
CQC
interview
techniques
as
I taught you
saying,
are sure to come
our
in
game
handy.
is apolitical, or some
CQC.
nonsense,
Close quarters combat,
because they
huh?
probably had a
I've been in
knee-jerk
Green Beret
reaction
for
to
the
the
past few
Battlefield
years.
5
I'm probably
controversy,
pretty rusty.
and they basically just
Not to
didn't want
worry.
people to get
I'll
pissy
be
about
here to help
something.
you remember.
But
After all,
it's
this
just
is your first
blows me
actual
away,
survival
like
mission. I'll be supporting you
like
over the
Western
video.
developers
Where are
are.
you,
I don't even
boss?
think most
Next
people
to the major.
realize
The boss
how
is communicating
jingoistic
with us by
Western
radio
games
from aboard
are,
a Hermit-class
as
submarine
opposed
in
to
Arctic Ocean.
Japanese games when
My
it comes
frequency is
to,
141.80.
being
Call me
honest
if you
about
need
the
my advice
military
on battle
versus
techniques.
painting a
Gotcha.
Michael Bay-like picture
Your
where
mission is to
military
retrieve
always
Dr.
good, don't
Sokolov.
talk about bad.
Dr. Sokolov is being held
I mean,
in
there
an
is a
abandoned
place for
factory
those types of
located to
games,
the
but
north
I
of your
agree that
current
we
city.
definitely should have a mix-up of them.
Avoid heavy combat and don't
Like-
let anyone see you.
And plus, the ones that
Don't
are more
forget that this
critical
is
and
a stealth
deconstructive, I just
mission.
find those ones to be the most interesting. That's why I love Metal Gear. That's why I love Spec Ops: The Line. That's why,
Right.
you know.
I don't know. I'd go a step further. I can't think of a single great story ever told that didn't at least have some amount of ambiguity about warfare in it. Like,
Well-
can you think of like every movie I can ever think of that I would think of as a great war movie has at least some amount of moral ambiguity. Some amount.
Was I don't know. Was Braveheart?
Vietnam, we've got Platoon, we've got Apocalypse Now. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
those are the
guess
best
like
ones.
Saving Private Ryan, maybe? Like, I'd have
Yeah.
to think about that. But like, Fury, like Dunkirk, like, God, I actually have never seen Braveheart. Shit.
Yeah, Braveheart. Although it's not actually, it's probably the least historically accurate movie ever made. It is very much patriotic and
That's
favor
what I
Scotland.
hear. I believe it was one of those really history buff. Was either the name of the guy, or was like a history buff like YouTube channel where they went over how inaccurate Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a good movie though. Guys, if you can think of any movie, like American warfare movie that is legitimately great, that didn't really focus on the moral ambiguity of what was going on, and was very much pro-America, let us know. Because I'm actually having trouble, like Steve is, thinking of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, someone mentioned Hacksaw Ridge. I actually have not seen that.
Ooh, yeah. Hacksaw Ridge was really good. That was a really good movie.
My shout out to Echelon Icarus, who said, "I blame Russia for my lack of a significant other." Why do you blame Russia, bro? Why do you blame Russia for that? I've got to know. There's got to be a story there.
Because all the hot girls are hoarded in Russia right now.
Ugh, well, I've got that hot girl I talked to in Ukraine, so she speaks Russian. She's just not Russian.
I've spotted 2 enemies.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's really complicated though right now. She kinda came out to her mom as liking women, and her mom's not happy about that.
Yep.
Snake, your presence in
Yeah.
Soviet
Tends
territory
to
is
happen
already
the
a
further
violation
east
of
of
international
Europe
law.
you go.
We can't let the
So
Kremlin
just
find
it just
out that the
blows my
CIA and the
mind that there are
American
people who
government
still
are
have a
involved.
problem with that.
Contact
Like,
with the enemy
wouldn't it be a
is
good
strictly
thing to hear
prohibited.
from your daughter
Don't
that she's
engage them in
interested in
battle
someone who
either.
can't get her
This
pregnant?
is
Like,
a
isn't that
stealth mission.
such
Got
a
that?
positive
The
thing?
major is
Like,
a
I'd love for
The
my if
point
I
of this
if I don't
mission
want my
is to
kid to be
sneak
pregnant,
through
that'd
the
be a
jungle
great
without
thing to
being
have
seen.
happen, you know?
Yeah.
The success of the mission depends
Oh,
on how
here come all the
well you use your
antinatalists now.
camouflage.
No, I'm kidding.
Change your camouflage
Wiz
by
Catches
selecting
Lightning says Pearl
camouflage
Harbor,
from the
but not too much of a
survival
Michael
viewer.
Bay fan. No, we said
The
good
uniform option
American
lets you
war
pick your
movies.
uniform, while the face
I
option lets you
can't.
choose
I
your
know
face
Pearl
paint.
Harbor's not well
Choosing
received. I can't
camouflage
recall if
that
I've ever
blends
seen
in
it
with your
though.
surroundings
But
will
I've
help
sure
you
seen
conceal
Patrick H.
yourself more
Willems talk
effectively.
about Michael Bay's career, and he mentioned that. So.
Also,
Is he a
don't
YouTuber?
forget that
Oh
anything
yeah,
that moves
like
will
probably
stand
one of the
out in
best
jungle.
general
If you just
video
stand up and run
essayists
around
about
like an
movies
idiot, you're
on the
bound to be
platform.
spotted.
Okay.
He's
But if
great.
you crawl
His
instead,
series on
you
Michael
should
Bay
be
is
able to sneak
brilliant.
by without being noticed.
It's probably one of his best series videos.
You can
I'm
see
actually
how
curious in
effective your
watching that.
camouflage is
Hold
by
on.
looking
Just
at
tell me
the
what his name
camo
is again so I
index.
can write it down here.
The camo index
Patrick
shows how well your
H.
current camouflage
Willems.
blends in with the
H.
surrounding area.
Willems.
You'll find him.
The higher
Gotcha.
the
Thanks,
value,
man.
the harder
Yeah.
you are to spot,
All
and
right.
vice versa.
James McGuire says The Patriot.
The
Yeah,
key
I
is
watched
to
The
make
Patriot
yourself
once and
one
remember
with
liking it.
nature.
Oh
Might be
yeah,
a
me
good one.
too.
Keep that in
I
mind
remember
as you go
that.
along,
I guess
okay?
that'd probably qualify. It's been a while, but
Full
yeah,
Metal
probably
Jacket.
Pretty Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty sure there's not a lot positive about how that movie looks.
This
So-
is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do this
Oh my
properly.
god.
How to-
I've actually memorized the drill sergeant speech from the beginning of the movie, though. I think I have. I know it word by word, I think.
I'm trying to remember how to do this gun trick. No?
Oh, yeah. You're looking with the scope and just unequip it and then just fire.
Damn it.
Because your view stays.
He did. Oh, by the way, because I'm definitely nowhere near the badass at Metal Gear Solid 3 that I am at Metal Gear Solid 2, so I'm just going to be playing this game for fun. I'm not, going for any records or going for no kills. I'm just going to take the policy of, hey, If you're in my way and you like Soviet communism, then you dead. Or you're going to be put to sleep for the next couple days. You don't see shit! What the... God damn it. See? This is what I'm talking about. Definitely... Okay, stop juking me for a second, okay? I really don't appreciate it. Dude, you took 4 elephant tranquilizers. Just go to bed. Yeah, you're damn right you can't use the radio. Run away. There we go. I'm just taking them all out now because there's a cutscene I want you guys to watch when we go over this little ridge. Alright, we're good. False alarm. You guys didn't see that. JGN says, have you ever tried to speedrun Metal Gear Solid 2? I actually got the big boss rank for Metal Gear Solid 2. And Steve can confirm. I showed him the images.
I never speedran it. I just got all the achievements, which just included beating it on extreme. But at that point, you're so good you could do a big boss run. Mm-hmm. So
even then, it's a pain in the fucking ass.
Oh god, it's absolutely absurd on Metal Gear Solid 2. I was blown away by how bad it is. I did partial big boss run on Twin Snakes at some point, which is comparatively easy because the bosses are dramatically easier with first-person aiming, which is something that guy talks about in his video that I shared. I can't remember his name.
Oh, there's the Hornet's Nest. Why didn't I shoot that? There we go. Check this out, guys. Get stung. All right.
Just as the attention to detail on the small things that affect gameplay like this is such a Japanese thing. Like Western games just straight up don't really
care. Yeah.
It's so baffling to me. It's really, I think, about philosophy of design. I'll probably eventually make a video just literally shitting on Western developers and publishers, but in the most constructive way possible, where I don't actually come out and say I'm shitting on them, of course. I will just talk about the problems of the differences of game design philosophy and why I dislike Western games. If I were to list like my top Western games the last 15 years, I've only really got like 2 or 3 that I think are good. Obviously, the Talos Principle happens to be developed by a Western dev, but obviously you've got the first Mass Effect. I never played the first Dragon Age, but I hear it's about that good. And actually, Ghost of Tsushima. I still haven't played Spider-Man, but you know, I hear good things about that too. But yeah, I was really like Ghost of Tsushima was so like really high caliber with the writing. When did you finish it?
Oh, I think I finished it within the first week that it came out, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. I had no idea. I can't remember. I was like two weeks, 100%ed it.
Nice.
Took me about 2 weeks. Yeah, I was absolutely blown away. The caliber of writing in that game is far better than almost any other Western game I've ever played.
Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive.
Yeah.
He must not be
wait, you
exposed
probably
to
shouldn't
any
spoil
kind
it.
of danger.
Okay, if you haven't,
Do not
listen,
approach Sokolov while
people in
the
this
alert
chat,
phase.
if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima and you own a PS4, what the
One
hell's
more
the matter
thing,
with you?
Snake.
Yeah, it was my game of the year, like
No,
the last
it's
year,
just
hands
that
down. Not
when
even
you get
close.
to Sokolov,
Not even close.
I want you
I
to
really
tell me
liked
something
Resident Evil
from me.
3 as
Sorry
well.
for being
Doom
so
Eternal.
I did not play that, but you know, I understand that it was
Beginning my
very
approach
good.
to the
So
target.
I will not argue. And then there's The Last of Us 2, which my friend gives me so much shit for talking shit about it, even though I haven't played it. Well, other than seen a few hours of it.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'll eventually have to play through both Last of Us games. I still never finished the first one either because I just couldn't really get into it.
Dude, what is it with
Yeah,
people
I
in
know.
my life not playing The Last of Us? Jesus.
Well, the people in your life have really good taste then.
The first Last of Us, thank you.
I know. I'm being terrible. But yeah, no, obviously, even I have to admit the first Last of Us is a spectacular game. But I think it's much more interesting to talk about the problems of how influential it's been. I view that as a problem because I think it just shows there's a lack of strong storytelling in Western games to begin with. So when The Last of Us rolls along with a very well-crafted narrative for sure, but I would argue a narrative that's not particularly interesting or original, and I would say the same for the gameplay in the game. It's not particularly interesting or original.
Yeah, it's
Nakey
more
Jakey
about
has an excellent game. An excellent video. YouTuber named Nakey Jakey. Not sure if you've ever seen him.
the outdated guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He calls The Last of Us 2 outdated, and I think his reasoning is pretty sound. He said similar things probably about the first Last of Us. And he's like, like every aspect of the gameplay in them is worse than some other game that does it better. And I think his criticism on the story in The Last of Us 2 is pretty valid, and I generally agree with it. I would only really say that The Last of Us 2 is definitely very notable, where you're playing as two different characters that you don't want to do things that they're doing in the story that I won't say, so that you become very disappointed by the fact that you have to do them, which is somewhat unique. I can't think of another game where, because, it's the two different player characters at odds. But if you can turn on an Angry Joe review, and Angry Joe can immediately pitch you a better version of the story, that should tell you that the writers probably should have thought a little harder about how they structured their story.
Yeah.
That's my main problem with it, is that they could have done a much better job, I think, if they sat down. But I think the problem is when it's like, it's just it's so true that whenever you reach a certain level of success in the game industry, or honestly in anything like movies, when you reach a certain level of success, you're basically allowed to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're still making money for the people you work for.
Yeah. Like
so
what
I
happened
think
with Kojima and Death Stranding.
Neil Druckmann really needed somebody to rein him in and said, bro, the way you structured this story, I think it's a lot weaker than if you were to change it up here, do this.
Yeah. That was my main problem with The Last of Us Part 2. It's not that it didn't have good ideas. It's just the way that they were presented, the way that they were placed throughout the story. It was very, very poor.
Oh yeah, and I think that's one of the big problems that we have with the industry, is that basically reviewers who work for publications like IGN, I think even, God, what's her fucking face?
I have a message from him.
The really attractive former IGN reviewer who has a podcast with other people in the industry.
The Australian chick?
Yeah, what the fuck is her name? I can't remember her name. She literally got hired as like a third string writer, probably, because she knows people. I forget what company she's working for as a writer now. And it's just like, it's all about networking, and the industry is just really incestuous when it comes to the publishers and the journalists. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. I'm not saying she isn't qualified, but there we go, Alana Pierce. So even Alana Pierce famously had, when she was really starting to blow up on YouTube, she had a video where she basically talked about the problem with games journalism from her perspective as a former IGN reviewer. And I think one of the things she said that was very spot on was that one of the problems with game reviewers is that they don't actually review the game as it is. They review the idea, the concept of the game, and they basically don't criticize it for its failures of execution. I think she said something like that, because that perfectly describes what's going on with like The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if you think The Last of Us Part 2 is an epic masterpiece, I really think it has some glaring flaws that they're loath to criticize in the reviews. But you can find people on YouTube all day, every day, criticizing the flaws of The Last of Us Part 2. And it's like, this divide has been there for years and years. Like I said, like with the gaming press, they feel like they're so self-important. They feel like they're basically just, Oscar voters, that like we judge what is high art or not based on some arbitrary standards, and we don't really feel like criticizing. And they'll always just blame people not liking it on superficial reasons, or something that's completely unrelated, like,
in the year that The Dark Knight came out,
sexual orientation or identity as a character. That's why they don't like it. They're just mad about that.
No.
What about The Dark Knight?
Yeah, I was about to say, the year that The Dark Knight came out, a lot of people wanted to get nominated because it was just that good of a movie. You had a movie like The Reader, which a lot of people didn't like.
It wasn't even close. It was the most important movie of that year by like a fucking country mile. It's just baffling. But when you understand how the Academy thinks, you basically realize that one of the very first rules of the Academy is that they don't nominate anything that has made a lot of money. They really don't like nominating things that make lots of money. They want to stay as far away from that as possible, because they're self-important, and they feel it is their duty to recognize the gems that aren't super popular.
Unless, you're Black Panther, and then if you don't nominate it, you're a racist.
Well, that's just because they had the backlash from the Oscars so white. That's why they did it. Right?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Black Panther, great movie. Didn't deserve to be nominated.
Where did you learn to speak?
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally understand that point of view. I would personally argue that from the thematic perspective, Black Panther is the best Marvel movie by a country mile in that way. So to me, I think it's definitely worth talking about. But I admit, as a movie, it's not particularly great outside of that. And I would probably agree with you that it probably should have been nominated. I don't even remember what else was up for nomination that year.
Yeah. I think it was the year that
Major,
Three
this is
Billboards
Snake.
movie came out.
Sokolov is safe with
the
me.
one-
Oh, I love that movie.
He's
That
doing
was such a
fine.
good fucking
No
movie.
injuries.
Fucking
Such a
depressing
good
movie.
fucking movie.
It was a
Now
really
hurry
good
up and
movie.
get Sokolov
It
to the
was
recovery
depressing,
point.
but it was so
We'll
fucking
rendezvous
good.
with you there.
So fucking good.
What about the
Okay,
Sentry?
just very quickly,
I
I
managed to
want
get past
to,
them.
before this whole
I
thing
see.
ends,
What about the
James
boss?
McGuire says, Max,
We
would
lost
you ever
contact with the
revisit
boss
Soma?
some time
Maybe
ago.
more breakdown
happened?
videos or a live stream? I've
Probably
become
just a
fascinated
weak
with the
signal.
story since I
Just
discovered
hurry and
it a
get
week ago.
Sokolov out of
I have actually thought about doing a quick thing on Soma because somebody pointed it out to me a few months ago that you can actually find a copy of the book Ion inside one of the the characters that are mentioned in the story inside their office. And I think that's just brilliant because it's really difficult for me to explain right in the middle of a stream. But let's just say that the contents of the book Ion, which I've covered on this show, have great relevance to sort of the dystopian future that Soma was trying to present, well, with AI and this idea that if we perfect consciousness and replicate it artificially, that we can continue to perfect that consciousness until it mimics that of what human beings would view as a god. Something like Jesus Christ, but AI Jesus.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I was reading the chat.
There's this book by the Swiss psychoanalyst, a guy named Carl Jung. It's a book called Ion. And
Okay.
it's
I
basic-
caught everything after you said that, basically, I think.
Okay.
Sounds pretty smart. Like
Yeah.
my kind of shit.
I'm just trying to figure out how I would do that in a way that will be digestible for people, because Ion on its own is already difficult to understand. Let's see.
This is the legendary boss.
Oh, here he is. Here he is. With them famous spurs.
Yeah. The Russian who thinks he's a cowboy. Good man, good man.
He's like, I hate you American dogs.
But I want to dress like your fictional characters from 150 years ago. Or at the time, 100 years ago, I guess.
What's a crew soldier doing here?
A prettier John Wayne.
I still remember,
Soldier?
I was watching on YouTube an episode of G4's show Icons from many years ago, where they basically talked about, of course, big
He's
figures
the Ocelot commander.
in the game industry, and they talked about Metal Gear Solid at one point. And they had a guy on, and they overlaid it over Ocelot talking about his revolver. The guy said some of these characters have sexual problems. And I was like, I never thought that Ocelot had sexual problems
Never lets his prey
because how much he talks about his revolver. Didn't even think about that. That we're supposed to draw that from Ocelot. Like, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like, in this game, he grabs Eva on the tit, and then in Metal Gear Solid 1, it's heavily implied that either he or somebody else raped Meryl. So maybe there's something there. Just saying.
Well, I mean, sexual problems is entirely different from if he's a rapist or...
Well, that's kind of a sexual problem, dog. You feel
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would argue it's a psychological problem. The
Right.
sexual problems. I'm just saying you can have a sexual problem and not be a rapist. The two are not
I know,
mutually exclusive or overlapping all the time. So I
Right.
don't know.
Okay, most important part of the game, guys. We just gotta be quiet, okay? We all know what's about to happen. Shh. Come on, purr for us. Purr for me. Been waiting all day for this.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Come on, purr. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Are you excited? I am.
not the boss, are you?
Better fucking purr. Just do it. Make my week. Yes! Oh my god. Oh, waiting all week to hear that. Imagine if he's like in the bedroom with a woman and just lets one of those out.
What is that?
Instantly kill the movie. Wow! Hey,
Yeah, but would he
Calypso.
be dressed as an ocelot too? Who knows?
Are you saying Ocelot's a furry?
No, I'm saying someone in the chat made me think of furries a few minutes ago, and this one made me think about it.
Okay. Let me see. In the chat. He is sexually frustrated. These GFC match just came. Yeah, a little bit.
Major!
No Glabnar Chartosis. God, these people have weird names. I'm not implying that just because you're using a gun in a war you have sexual problems. I'm implying that if you're about to have a duel with a man in a sealed room and you start talking about how your gun is the best gun ever made, 6 bullets, enough to kill anything that moves, and somebody on a TV show I'm watching says that implies with the editing that he means that guy has sexual problems. I was just saying I didn't think about that until I saw that. I'm not even saying that I believe that, honestly. I don't think that means Ocelot has sexual problems, but I think it means you could read that into it if you really wanted to.
I'm just reminded of the first battle that we had with Revolver Ocelot in the room with Baker in the first game.
Uh-huh.
What does he say? I just love sliding a bullet.
To reload?
Yeah, the reload.
Oh.
You guys know what I'm talking about. The real Johnny Ace. Hey Max, hope you're doing well. I'm doing good, dude. Have you considered an opinion on autism and alcoholism? Because as an autistic and alcoholic, I think it'd be a very interesting concept because of the complexities. Hey, I'd be happy to talk about it. The problem is I have no opinion on them myself, like an educated opinion, because I'm not an alcoholic and I've rarely ever drank in my life. But if somebody, could come on to my show and we could record something and put it up, I'd be happy to do that.
That's more of a revolver technique.
Masiej Tedic, I am butchering your name, but they ask, how have you read/watched Monster? Best anime ever and full of symbolic structures. It is perfect for your channel. No, but somebody did recommend on my Discord server the other day in my feedback channel that I should check it out, so...
I think the first 2 episodes are so good I'm going to steal them for a script at some point in the future, I'll say that.
Okay. Is it the spiritual successor to MGS?
No, that's a totally different story, actually.
Okay.
It's not really applicable what happens in the first 2 episodes of Monster, but you'll see. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it could be applicable, but I don't think it's really a right fit.
Mm-hmm. And then Ocelot fell in love. Luigi Judah says, hi Max. Hey man. Oh, I love the thrill of reloading during battle.
Do you read me?
I read you.
Do you? It'll be the
Snaky,
smell
alright?
of your own death.
Run into a few snags. These guys were after
Excuse me.
Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
Oh yes, Volgan.
Part
Speaking
the
of people
internal
with
Soviet
sexual
army,
problems.
according to Sokolov. Something between
He's a
the
sadist.
KGB
I
and
think
GRU,
that's his major sexual
between
problem
Khrushchev's
there, but
supporters
that's
and
just me.
Volgan's.
Well,
I should
Sokolov
take
was
shame.
being guarded
I'm
by
sure
the
some
KGB
people are
and hunted
probably
by
sadists
GRU.
and they're
Snake,
totally
sounds
fine
like
with
this
that
could
and
be
think there's
even
nothing
hotter
wrong
than
with it.
Hey, as long
I
as
don't like
it's
it.
consensual,
Something about
it's
the
none of
whole
my
Yeah.
business.
stinks.
I agree. You'd
Cool,
better
so
hurry.
Max, I'll get you to purr for
Sokolov
me.
ran off by himself, but
How
I'll
much are
catch
you
up to
paying?
him.
We're counting on you.
Always the right answer.
Yes.
How much are you paying?
Everybody's got their price. Anyways, let's just do what Big Boss should have done here and end the whole series. Oh shit, I don't have a pistol. Ah, fuck it. This part's very short, so let's just run after Sokolov and his bitch ass. Sokolov, take cover. Volgan is a great antagonist. I'm just saying, that guy's...
He's pretty solid. I mean, he's mostly one note. His most interesting conversation is when he talks about how the Cold War is fought with espionage and talking about the spies that they need to worry about. But otherwise, he's just a really solid, just general bad guy who's also a sadist, because of course he is. And then the lightning thing adds some flavor text to him, I guess.
Calm down.
He's just one of the. He's probably the one villain in Metal Gear Solid Saga that I just love to hate the most.
Yeah, because he's clearly designed that way. He's like a Bond villain, you know, to go with the Bond themed game. Obviously.
Yes. Wait! You're saying this game was inspired by James Bond?
Maybe.
Get the hell out of here.
They only talk about James Bond movies in the game.
It's not like they have an opening theme song.
I know.
Yeah. Do you like Hitman?
Most James Bond theme songs.
I don't like playing Hitman, but I love watching other people play Hitman Saba. Like my favorite YouTuber is a guy named Bash12349. He has played a lot of Hitman, and he makes watching those games so fucking hilarious. I highly recommend you go over to his channel and watch him.
Check that out. Somebody asked if either of us have heard or seen some videos of the canceled Flash open world game. Never heard of it.
Flash open world game?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to see anything because everything would just be running past you at the speed of light.
I didn't want to die.
It'd just be a blur.
Have you seen those Kyle Hill videos about that? Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Kyle Hill is really good at, you know, talking about the actual real life science of like fictional characters and stuff. And he's done one on the Flash, talks about that aspect that like even if you're moving at like slow speeds relatively compared to the Flash, like there's an insect that could move like stupid fast, and it has to stop like every fraction of a second just to look around.
Okay.
So that is a huge problem. Yeah.
Kyle Hill, right?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Okay.
He's
let me ask you this question: Does he address whether or not Superman can get Lois Lane pregnant?
I'm sure he probably does at this point.
Okay.
I would be really shocked if he hasn't. He's got a lot of stuff on Super Strength. I'll say that.
Okay. Then that's an instant subscribe for me, because.
I mean, I believe he formerly had a channel called Because Science, and now his channel is just Kyle Hill. I forget when he did the switch, but a lot of his old videos are on the other channel, I think.
Hold on, I'm just going to send a message real quick.
He did actually disprove the whole Ant-Man could crawl inside Thanos' butt and expand thing, shockingly. He covered that. So...
Well... Can he?
No. According to him, based on the strength of human colons, and if Thanos had an even stronger colon than a human, basically no, because he could actually use some physics to calculate exactly how much pressure Ant-Man increasing in size could exert on the colon, and it wouldn't be enough to actually rupture the colon. So...
Can you imagine, like, trying to explain that to St. Peter after you died? It's like, you get to the pearly gates, and it'd be like, how did you die, my son? I was crushed by somebody's, like an intergalactic being's butthole. Clips says Max hate. No, I'm not hating. Hey, Dr. Cheese Nips, what's going on, man? George's meme videos? Are you talking about George Salinik? Why are you guys singing the theme song? We're not even there yet.
Well, almost there. But yeah, not yet.
Break out that my falsetto karaoke for you guys. I'll do it. Hey, if you guys want to,
I could sing it an octave lower pretty well.
We will fight once more.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Get that berry white flavor going.
Welcome back, boss.
Now that all
I
five of
don't
us
eat
are
snakes.
together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
I don't live my life like that.
Craziest thing that ever happened in Metal Gear Solid was when the pain used bees to lift the fear up to the helicopter just there. That is, for me, the most unbelievable thing. I could buy everything else except that one.
You can buy ESP and moving stuff with your mind.
Yes.
Okay.
I could buy that just because it takes a lot less strain of credibility. It's just like people have psychic powers, and you can just gotta be like, okay. You know, there's not really any attempt at an explanation. It's not like based in physics or anything. Like, I understand how bees work, and I understand how much a person weighs. And I suppose I would need Kyle Hill to do an episode about how many bees do you need to lift a human being to help lift it. But I just would be really shocked if they could come anywhere close to it.
Giant flaming whale coming out of the sky and attacking a helicopter? Totally within the bounds of possibility.
Oh, I took that as a hallucination.
Yeah,
I mean, that's easier to buy. I can take that as a hallucination.
Calypso asks Max, what would you look like dressed as Snake? Oh, obviously with the same 16-pack abs that he has.
Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Sirius in the front, Party in the back. All that good shit. Do you guys know Scott the Woz? No, I do not.
I know that name. I've probably seen at least one video, but not ringing a bell.
Are we taking him with us?
Ocelot killing bees by spinning his revolver is more unbelievable. I don't know.
I'd buy that a little bit.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
You know, a little bit. It's like not impossible for me to imagine a bee dying when it comes into contact with a swinging revolver, you know.
Think
So
you can pull the trigger?
it's just unbelievable that I would believe that they wouldn't go around the revolvers, but that's another problem.
He's just spinning them so fast. Because he's Ocelot.
Someone says in the chat they actually did the math and you would need over 700,000 bees. That's crazy. I figured it was that much.
Okay.
Something ridiculous.
Why exactly like 7777777 bees?
Maybe they're just screwing with me.
Yeah, I was about to say. Point Curation sends in $5. Thank you very much for that, dude. I relaunched my Kickstarter selling paintings. Any interest? Kickstarter projects, L. Thomas, various abstract paintings. Yeah, guys, go check that out, by the way. Point Curation actually sent me some of his abstract paintings, and when I move to my new place, I'm going to put them up on my wall. So go check them out. Oh, and by the way, what I wanted to say a second ago is that if we get over... if we get over $25 in super chats before the theme song starts playing, then I will sing the theme song.
Jack?
I'm just wondering whether or not people will actually do that, or they won't do it because they desperately don't want to hear me sing. Pouring myself out on the internet. What the hell's the matter?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad of a cause. It's not like you're asking to do anything worse.
Yeah, it's not like I won't go there.
Yeah,
I was gonna say something, but
why don't you don't open up an OnlyFans page anytime soon?
Well, I'm not gonna go there.
Oh, okay.
Soundless Hunter, how can you? You're ruining a dramatic scene.
One day I will eventually probably record me singing something and put it up on a YouTube channel at some point.
Mm-hmm. Never gonna give you up?
Blood has been rejected.
No, it would be something in a video game. So it's either gonna be Kingdom Hearts or maybe I'll make up some lyrics for a Final Fantasy song, or I don't know, pick a Metal Gear Solid song.
Now onto Sokolov's research facility.
Oh,
Heaven's Divide's pretty solid.
What's the name of the song that happens at the? No, actually, no. The best is yet to come.
Oh no, that's crazy. I can't do that. Not a chance. I mean, I could probably do it if I knock it down an octave, like literally everything else I could do if I knock it down an octave. But I'm not really feeling like I can add too much to that song. But you know, I could do simple and clean, really solid, really solid.
People are asking me if I can actually sing. Yeah, I can sing. I grew up learning music. Who would I say I can sing? I can sing sort of like the old grunge artists, like Eddie Vedder and Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. Although I don't really have the same power that Lane Staley has, or the graveliness, I can sing his songs.
Yeah, I always hate my voice tone when I record it. I feel like I sound terrible. Like my voice doesn't sound as good as I wish it did. Somebody said that bees thing is not a joke. Also, Javier, I can't
Snake,
pronounce.
can you hear me?
Vasquez says, also, guys, what are the odds that a woman in her early 40s was able to
Listen
defeat
to
a
me.
man in
You
his
need
late 20s?
emergency medical
Bro,
treatment. Can you move?
bro. There are women who are like stronger than Arnold
You've got to get those
Schwarzenegger. I just want to
wounds
throw
treated.
that
Hang
out
in
there. Like, the age isn't that big
All
a
right, let's get you fixed
difference.
up. Paramedic?
It's, you know, and they're also men in their like
Relax and
80s
it'll all
who
be over before you know
are
it.
also really jacked. So like, it doesn't really matter what gender or how old you are.
Stay with me.
I think it's
I've
just
seen
all
you in
about
worse shape
how you
before.
take care of yourself.
Think you
There's
can
a lot
handle
of
it?
evidence to back that up, pretty much.
Major.
And if you have the right technique,
Boss.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the other big
She's
thing, obviously.
defected.
I'm in my late
Talk about that
20s,
later.
and
First, we've got to get you patched up.
how old is Gina Carano right
Here
now?
we go.
Fuck, I have no idea.
First, open
Let me
the
look that
survival
up.
viewer with the start
Because
button.
I would imagine.
Oh, right.
If you select
That's
cure,
right.
you can start the treatment.
She's the whole controversy
Healing
lightning
is
rod
divided
over
into
there.
treatment using medicine
Yeah.
with the item
She's
window
38
button,
years
She's
old.
and
38.
surgical treatment
Oh,
using
man.
Yeah,
the
she'd
weapon
kick
window
my
button.
ass.
Yeah, she's former
Your injuries
MMA,
include
yeah.
a
So,
fractured
yeah.
left elbow
No
and
problem.
rib bone, and lacerations on your upper
Child of
arms,
Yas
right
says you
elbow,
kind of
and
sound like
abdomen.
Maynard Tool when you speak. Yeah,
They need to be
I
fixed
can
using
see that.
surgical treatment.
I actually have a bit of trouble singing some of Tool's
Move the healing
songs. I
cursor
can
with the
sing
left
most of
stick to the
46 and
affected part of
2,
your body.
alright, but when
Once
it
you've
gets to
selected the
songs
affected
like
area, hold the weapon window
fucking
button and use the left stick to
Sober or
select the
Jerk
medical
Off, those
item,
are really
and then press the
difficult.
enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your
He is
recovery
such an amazing.
process.
Fucking hell!
To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area
Oh,
faster
damn.
and then wrap it in bandages.
Someone
That
wants
should do
it.
Oh my
For
god.
lacerations,
Wiz,
you'll need
you're the
disinfectant to
fucking
clean the
man,
wound.
man.
Sutures to stitch
Good
it
luck.
up, stick to
Wiz
your
Catches
surgical
Lightning
blood,
literally
and
sent in
bandages to wrap the wound.
$26.
If you
He's
do
gonna.
everything I
I'm gonna
mentioned,
have to
the
sing
wound
the
should heal
song, guys. I'm a
completely.
man of my word.
Understood?
That was good.
Oh
Stay
god.
with me.
That was
Here we
good
go.
Go
to
into
me.
the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
I didn't think anybody would take me up on this offer. You see how Snake is lying on the ground right now? That's me lying on the floor after receiving that super chat. Just take me. Alright. Quit being such a wimp, Snake. Jesus. Suffering from a deep cut. Let me see if I remember this correctly. Disinfectant. Suture kit.
Yeah, Javier, I get what you're saying. I personally think I can totally buy it. That's all I'm saying. Especially because it's a whole thing about technique too. Like, once you're at a certain level, that's probably more important than having a little bit more raw physical strength.
Wait, no, not that again. There we go. Bone fractured, so that would be the splint and the bandage. Almost done here, guys. See, I could totally be a doctor. No problem. And we're good. Alright, now Snake, quit your whining.
So I think we have enough time before we actually get to the song. Somebody's asked what we think of Portable Ops and its story. It's definitely the worst of anything that's got Metal Gear in the title that's not a blatant spin-off, like the Acid games that weren't even written, even the outline by Kojima. I believe supposedly Kojima did like the outline, but he just produced the game for Portable Ops. I have to admit, it doesn't really feel like his hand was really super in it, because it doesn't really feel like it's got any kind of a serious narrative consistency or message behind it. I mean, there's like maybe a little bit of something here and there, but yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I forgot to look at the sorrow. Oh, no, wait, no, I didn't. No, we're good. Max says 100% in human biology. I do, but not in the course.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to
Child
get
of
you.
Yah
Just
sends
stay
you
where you are.
$5.
We'll
Power to the
cover
gamers,
recovery
straight
for you.
up. Thank you for
Can
that,
set
dude.
it up?
Okay. Now, we gotta go look at Ocelot's father's dead body. You is dead as hell, you know that? Oh, damn it. So, I don't know if I can do Snake Eater all in the high pitch. I'll do some of it, maybe the beginning notes. But I will, oh god, I'm gonna end up on fucking Reddit, aren't I? What a thrill. Here for singing the... Oh, I love you guys. Phil from the Abyss sends in €5. Here for singing those few notes of the best is yet to come before. You're welcome.
God, I need to start streaming. Well, I'd have to have as many subscribers as you. Jesus.
Hey, I'll send them your way, man. Just, you know.
Yeah, I have to start making content again. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know.
Also,
I think more about. I'd rather. The amount of time you have to put in to make a lot of YouTube videos. I know that you do it. It's insane.
It is.
It's like it's got to consume your life. Like you don't have time for anything if you do that.
Yeah.
And I just think like if I thought it was the best thing for me to do, I would do it. But I think I rather would make that, well, a video game before I would make the Metal Gear Solid successor, spiritual successor kind of video game. And then there's also a short film I would make that would be a lot easier and faster to make that I want to throw into some film festivals and see if anyone likes it. Really AI story. Kind of like similar to Ex Machina, but actually smarter.
Excellent.
So those are the kinds of things I would rather do.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me. Unless you get, like... I wouldn't recommend anybody try to make a living off of YouTube unless you get to like 150,000 subscribers and you have at least 20% of those subscribers watching every video you put out.
Yeah, I mean, I do the calculation I think about all the time that I'm sure if I just did nothing but pump out a video every week or two for like a year, I might be able to get to something livable, optimistically. Maybe.
Yeah, if you put out good content, then that will definitely help you.
Right. But I just like, you know, I just only think I have, you know, maybe like another dozen or two videos in me before I'd be like,
not so fast.
There's nothing else I really want to say left.
Yeah, you just burn yourself out. It happens, man. It's happened to me.
Well, it's not, I know that what I would do is I would just go down to like second tier stuff that I could make videos about. You know, like just not the stuff I'm really passionate about, but that I could probably make good enough content on. And that scares me because I'm just gonna talk some total shit right now. The worst YouTuber I've ever seen is actually, it's not like, you know, people who are a disgrace to the human race like Logan Paul or anything, because everyone knows they're bad. Everyone knows that they're a waste of space. But it's actually people like this anime YouTuber called Mother's Basement. The saddest YouTube video I've ever seen in my life and probably ever will was actually one that he did. That was a year wrap-up video. And literally, I've never seen someone else say nothing for so long with different words. He danced around not saying what the title of the video was, like his favorite anime of the year or some bullshit. He literally didn't even say what his favorite anime was, and he just went on like stupid tangents, avoiding actually answering the question. It was like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But then I realized, like, holy shit, he just genuinely doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't actually care. He's just really good at filling up video time, and people watch his shit anyway. And I was just like, God, he has no integrity. It's just like, I don't understand how people don't just call him out continuously. And he like plays up the fact that he's a shill, like in videos here and there. And it's just like, you know, I've seen another YouTuber talk about how he knows that Mother's Basement continuously made videos about like Sword Art Online just because they made so much fucking money, even though most of them are, again, like a total waste of everyone's time.
Okay, here we go. Well, very quickly before I hit save and, you know, ruin everybody's ears, I just want to read the other part of Phil's super chat. He says, also want to quickly recommend MGS on the Game Boy Color, super underrated game. Are you talking about Ghost Babel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ghost Babel.
Yeah. Wait, were you the one that actually recommended I play Ghost Babel to me on Discord?
It wasn't me. It was someone else.
Okay, here we go. You guys ready? I'm excited. Not really. But I do it for you guys because you send me them sweet, sweet dollar bills. All right, let me get a sip of this water very quick. Get my girl voice ready. All right. Me. All right, here we go. Here we go. What a thrill. Darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting to you. A fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. Snake eater. My times. Okay, back to more reasonable octave. There'll be no one else. They do it Will Shatner style. Crime is the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, but you snake eater. Someday you'll. I don't know the words. Someday you'll free on a tree frog. Free on a tree frog? Someday you'll try to survive from the day you see new life. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. That's my Eddie Vedder coming out right there. In my times, there'll be no one else. No, God. My family downstairs is probably wondering, what the fuck is he doing? It's the way I'll fly to you. Alright. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Hit them notes, girl. I'm still in that dream, snake eater. And I would probably would have been better if I was actually able to raise my voice, but like I said, family's.
It's cool. It's cool.
All right, you happy? Jesus Christ. That's what I get. And, well, was it worth it? Yes, it was, because you guys are supporting me with the super chats. Fake name came in right when I started singing. Hopefully I didn't scare him away. Hey, stumbled on your channel. Mad respect for your showcase. Hope you keep growing in the future, dude. Thank you so much, and I hope you participate in that showcase.
Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil
Yeah.
pressure and voltage are nominal.
Encore.
Oxygen supply is nominal.
Do you want to hear me rap Sir Mix-a-Lot for the encore? No.
No gusts.
Don't want
All
none.
systems go for
Oh,
drone
God.
detachment.
Job well done, Puppy Man. Yeah. I didn't say that I wasn't going to unlist this. No. What's done is done. I did it for the money. And Wiz catches lightning sends in another 26. Thanks so much, man. Job well done. Love you, man. I love you too, bro. You stay the yellowest of the yellow.
A child of, yeah, what do you mean by Alex Jones doesn't awesome? Oh, I get it, okay. I get it.
So how does it feel to
Cobra
be a patient
Commander?
in one of the most advanced
Yeah,
ICUs in the
I'm
world?
assuming it's a joke about Volgan.
Tell the suits about visiting hours.
Oh, okay.
I'll never
Yeah.
get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Can you imagine if Volgan was voiced by Alex Jones?
More like an interrogation.
How much of a different
I'm
character
sure
he'd
that's
be?
something somebody could edit together.
Oh, please. Please.
I really like the Doom guy as Alex Jones was his true calling, I think, in life.
Mm.
That was Alex Jones'
They
true
need the one
reason
that's
for
gonna be made a
existing.
national hero out of this.
It was just so they could get Doom guy memes of him talking about demons.
No.
Did you ever see that video where the guy made an indie folk song off of
It's time for Fox to clear
words
its-
that Alex Jones has spoken?
I think I might have.
Okay, just in case, I want you to watch this video, so I'm gonna go find it real quick. Alex Jones rants as... Yeah, there we go. An indie folk song. Alright, I'm gonna send this to you through Discord.
This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
I'm still in a dream.
Something even bigger.
Here.
Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
Kawhi Benson sends in...
President Johnson.
Oh, Brazilian. Okay, thank you. Brazilian real, the most useless currency ever. Well, I appreciate it nonetheless, Kawhi, and thank you so much for tuning in and donating that. Callaway0203 says, thanks for the stream, my dude. Your work is awesome and filling a huge gap on video game content by showing the psychological and sociological messages of games. Thanks, dude. And I hope to continue to do more of that so that I can merit this kind of generosity that you guys are displaying right now. Good night, Calypso. And je vais faire mes devoirs. Je te promets. Ne t'inquiète pas. I think I said that right. Calypso there in the chat has been teaching me French, guys, so show some love to her for that.
No choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash.
Wait, I'm sorry, teaching you French?
With the help of your
I thought you spoke it like fluently or something by now.
I can sort of speak it somewhat. I can read French. I can speak it somewhat, but when somebody tries to speak it to me, it's like they're speaking an entirely different language. So she's been helping me in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have contacted you myself.
Omelette du fromage, stinky baguette.
Omelette du fromage. Oh, yes. Dexter's Lab. God, that's great.
So you haven't
is that a Dexter's Laboratory reference?
It's a reference, yeah. It's this is the episode of Dexter's Lab on Cartoon Network from many years ago, famously, where in the episode Dexter's learning French by like playing something that he listens to at night, and it gets stuck on omelette du fromage. And then, like, during the rest of the episode, somehow it's him saying it, everybody just loves him for it. Him just saying it over and over again.
In Russia, you know her as
They like the French accent?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a meme of, like, one of the exact moments in the episodes where, like, these girls are just enamored with his accent from saying it. And it's this, like, meme that people will replace with something funny, where instead he'll say something that's in a terrible, like, Southern American accent or something instead of something French, so...
Oh.
I'd have to find that meme, but,
yeah, that's why I learned French in the first place, low-key.
Serious problems were found with the
No, I'm serious.
range and precision.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Although they were
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, voilà les croquembouches. C'est un plaisir de vous voir aujourd'hui, oui.
Sounds great, though, I'll give you that.
Thanks, man. See, I can fake it very well, but when it comes to actually...
I mean, I thought because you're Canadian, I was under the impression it was like the de facto second language up there, and that you had school for a while.
It is, but very few people outside of the province of Quebec actually make an attempt to learn it. Yeah. Max, have you ever messed around in the demo theater? Oh, you bet, dude. When these games came out when I was a kid, I spent like afternoons just laughing my ass off at the demo theaters these games offer.
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a
Somebody
US
asked
military aircraft doing
if
on
we
our
care
radar
about
screen?
Sonic and if we
It
think
was
the
clearly
30th
in
anniversary will
violation
be
of our
good.
airspace. And yet you
I
say
care.
it was not
Like,
acting
Sonic
under
was the
your
first, like, real video game series I got into in my life many years ago, but he's now like the drunken uncle that you don't want to talk about anymore. except for Sonic Mania. We acknowledge Sonic Mania as being good, but there really hasn't been a good Sonic game worth talking about since, like, I don't know, I was half my age or something.
Yeah,
So
I think the last Sonic game that I actually played was Sonic Adventure DX on the GameCube.
then you made a good choice. I think Adventure 2 was the last one I finished, and I jumped off there, and I think it was for what it was a very, very good game.
Yeah, I gotta play more Sonic, guys. Max has a sexy accent when he speaks French. Something get.
You must find some way to prove your innocence.
The thirst is real.
Prove our innocence.
Yes.
I'm gonna go.
Something painful.
I'll be right back. I need to
Prove
use the
me that
washroom.
This is not merely another one of your tricks.
Don't tell him anything
Boss should
illegal
be close to Colonel
while
Volgin.
I'm gone.
How about
Illegal?
a little co-action?
You know, anything controversial.
Oh, okay, sure.
Alright, BRB.
Alright.
And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction.
I'm so tempted to make some kind of conspiracy joke, but I think I'll hold off
You
on
have
that.
only 1 week, and if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
So yeah, Sonic Generations. I hear it's good, but from what I've seen, it doesn't impress me. Unleashed, the daytime levels look pretty fun.
What if we can't?
Colors looks okay from what I've seen of footage on people talking about it on YouTube. So.
Ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
We'll leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
I didn't know they were non-pirated MP3s.
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that
Does President Johnson have a different voice? I would actually have to play them side by side. I didn't even make that connection at all.
Right.
I've seen a lot of 06 played. It's a sad thing. It's funny, but it's also sad.
Screw this one up, and we'll
I actually was a huge fan of Sonic for many years, and I actually have a lot of the original Archie comics. At the time when I was really young, I thought they were good, but I'd have to go take another look at them and really have an opinion. I've played every Sonic game up to Adventure 2, and then I immediately got off that ride afterwards.
A couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960.
The best boss fight? Oh god, that's so tough. I mean, I think the end is a really good candidate for the best boss fight in this series.
Precisely.
But
Since
you
then,
could make arguments
apparently been
in
training with the
other
KGB
directions.
Exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks.
I mean, you could also argue like Psycho
Also
Mantis.
arranged for him to provide you with an escape.
You could maybe I don't
need to
know. I don't think
rendezvous with
anyone's
him when
ever
you get
argued the bosses. But it's a pretty good fight. But I don't know, like the combined liquid fights I think overall are a pretty good candidate.
By the way,
Shadow the Hedgehog, I played that game. Oh god. It was not fun.
If Steve told you that I'm a Russian plant, it's not true.
I thought about saying something about 9/11, but then I pulled back and I was like, yeah, let's be classy.
Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south.
We'll
I'm about to lose it.
save that for another stream.
George Bush is responsible for all the wars in the world. There.
George Bush does not care about black people.
That one's actually marginally true. I suppose George Bush was only responsible for 1 or 2 wars in the world.
What's the best boss fight in the MGS saga? That's a good question.
I was going back and forth on that. My knee jerk is to say the end, but
Yeah.
you could also argue Psycho Mantis, and if I could count all of the liquid fights, I might actually go with liquid. Just because I love the fist fight so damn much.
Yeah. A Psycho Mantis, I suppose, just for the iconic nature of that fight, and then the end in terms of just the intensity and the involved nature of that fight.
I picked the end in particular because of the ridiculously large number of ways the fight can go down.
Oh yeah, true.
And more importantly, the 2 ways that you can beat him without even fighting him, which is to kill him earlier, or to do the time clock thing, which inspires me to think of creative shit like that for whenever I do a spiritual successor. I've already been thinking about like kind of that kind of stuff, how you could really work that in.
Do you read me?
Loud and clear.
Because I think that's really where video games shine. It's ironic because all my favorite video games are very linear, but if I was going to design a video game, it would be like it wouldn't be open world, but it would have like situations like that where there's multiple ways where an encounter with a boss could go down. Like, I think that would be the height of game design, is where you have more of that in your game.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Kind of like Shadow of the Colossus in a way, where it's like it is open world, but you are directed to go in certain directions.
That was the Kremlin's demand.
Kind of, but I would actually cut down on open world aspects in general and have it be a relatively linear path. But it's just that it's open-ended design, I believe, is the different term, where it's like if there were 3 ways you could kill a boss, or if there was 1 way you could avoid half of a boss fight because of something you did earlier in the game, or something like that. Like, I think about that. Or like, think the Sorrow's River, where like what you did before the boss fight influences what happens in it. And in this case, how many people you kill. Like, I think about those things as being like, what I'd really like to design the game as a more of the philosophy of that. Because the opposite is very annoying. Like when you're playing Revengeance and the game is telling you you actually love violence. And I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm playing a video game. It's fake. That's the best part. And that's the thing. I don't like video games. That's the thing. Even when Kojima does it, usually there's this level of abstraction where he's actually talking about the character and not you. If it doesn't really count for him to talk about you, you know, like when Liquid's talking about how Snake loves the killing, I don't have to think it means me, because it doesn't. Because I don't really kill anybody in Metal Gear Solid games most of the time anyway.
Well, if you do kill people, like enough people in Metal Gear Solid 4, you do get that little Easter egg. Where, and then it is kind of our fault.
In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie.
But that's the thing. If it is our fault, then that's fair. But if it's not because of something I did, then I'm not going to feel bad for it, which is another one of the reasons that I would criticize things like The Last of Us 2 for like making me feel bad for shit I didn't choose to do is not a very smart idea.
My frequency is 140.85.
Oh, Kawhi Benson sends in another 2 whatever Brazilian dollars are. Christmas was an inside job.
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked.
I mean, I get it, because, you know, Jesus was put inside Mary by God.
145.
Get it? Okay.
She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency
actually, just back to the whole best boss fight thing. I do want to give a shout out to the Laughing Octopus boss fight from Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, that was pretty nice. Yeah, that was a good one.
He's an expert on the latest.
Again, it's like literally the parts of the brain that Japanese game designers use. Western game designers are just, they're not even in the ballpark. I mean, like, what's the most comparable thing to, like, you having a boss fight that's open-ended like the end in a Western game? The best thing I've got off the top of my head is the fact that at the end of Mass Effect, you can avoid the first phase of the Saren fight if you talk him down. That's, like, the only thing I've got in my brain that's comparable. And it's still, like, super watered down by comparison.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
If anyone has anything similar, please tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. I haven't played Red Dead. Damn it, someone just said that.
Red Dead is so fucking good.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the first one probably, and then the second one. So
yeah.
I thought standard fonts.
Or if you want to do them chronologically, though, you start with 2 and then go to 1.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, maybe I will play 2 first instead.
It might be a cool experience, just, you know, so you could be one of those few people that actually did it in that order. Somebody said most boring boss fight from Metal Gear Solid? That's probably Raging Raven for me.
Yeah, definitely. That is easily the most boring in the entire series. Someone asked my opinion on Forces. I have no... Oh, Sonic Forces. Oh, yeah. I don't know enough about it. From what I've seen, most people don't like it, and I haven't seen enough to really say much. Again, I think it's really just comes down to this general design philosophy that Sonic doesn't have an identity anymore. Whereas when I think of Sonic Adventure. They really had a formula there, and they just like... It's like they just lost half their brain and can't remember how to make a good Sonic game in 3D anymore, which just... I don't get it. They keep retreating back to 2D, which is a huge mistake.
Well, you could do
on
both.
The other
just
hand,
do it like Mario did.
That's the thing. I was about to say, on the other hand, if you look at Mario, I actually think Mario has been completely a waste of everyone's time since 64.
Oh,
like, Sunshine was pretty good. Like, it did add a little bit to the mechanics, but I don't think Mario's actually gone anywhere interesting since then. At
Have
least,
you
like, there's
played
nowhere
the
to really
Galaxy
go.
games?
I played the first one a bit.
Oh, dude,
I
they're so
forget how
good.
long. It was okay. I didn't really feel it.
You want okay? Let me tell you guys how much I love the 3D Mario games. All right, I don't own a Switch, but I actually own the Super Mario 3D All Stars for the Switch because it's supposed to go out of limited release this month. So I wanted to make sure I got it before I lost my chance.
You know they have a Switch emulator, right? It actually works pretty well. I've played it.
Well, that's illegal. So.
Oh, I suppose it is, right? Yeah, that's right. You got to have a BIOS dump. Just get one from your friends. Get your friend's Switch to dump. Just dump your friend's Switch.
I don't have friends.
Aw. Terrible, Max.
Plus, I can't
but
really...
no, I will actively say that I have active contempt for Nintendo personally. I really think that they've done everything to piss me off in their power in almost every way for the last like 15 years. They make consoles that don't appeal to me. Their specs are terrible. They actively discourage third parties from bringing their games on.
Here we go.
Their online is bad, but most importantly, Pokemon's fucking horrible. Like, Pokemon is just sad with what it looks like today. It's gone nowhere interesting. There's like I could literally make a better Pokemon game in an afternoon than Nintendo has made in the last 10 years.
Well, it's just because they have the formula, right? And people love the formula.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem. I think it's mostly Nintendo is just too much of a victim of their own success.
Yeah.
People still buy their games, so they don't really give a shit about, like, trying. So.
Well, from what I understand, like the majority of people seem to think that at least the most recent Mario and Zelda games were fantastic. Like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey.
There's nothing for you here.
Was it Joseph Anderson's Odyssey video was pretty scathing?
There's no need to prove
I seem to recall that in my brain, and it just doesn't look terribly interesting. But I admit, like, Breath of the Wild is a pretty bright spot for sure on Nintendo's recent games. But for every Breath of the Wild, there's like 5 Pokemon Sword and Shields. You know, like, no one ever talks about the last time they made a Star Fox game, right?
Or
that didn't go very well.
Supposedly they're working on Metroid Prime 4, but who knows? They'll probably come out the same
Well, they
time
gave
as
that
Star
back to
Citizen
Retro. They gave that back to Retro, so I trust them to actually do a decent job at the very least.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, like, I literally watch hours upon hours of YouTubers talk about what's wrong with Nintendo. Like, go watch Arlo. He's a great YouTuber. And he's very reasonable. And he has good criticism of Nintendo in literally every other minute of his videos, which is totally deserved. And I just watch all these videos of all these people, like, just like saying, like, here, Nintendo, I've got free ideas for you, take them, they're really good. You know, like, make better games. Like, you could improve Pokemon, it'd be so easy.
I haven't owned a Nintendo console since very early Wii days, so I can't really comment on it. I just know that there are a lot of...
the last Nintendo console I bought was a Wii, and I've sold it, and I've actually sold every single Nintendo thing I own. At this point, mostly just because I don't have any really a big attachment to any of it.
But you can't defeat me either.
By the way, if anybody has a copy of that promo disc that came with the GameCube that lets you play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and you wouldn't mind sending it to me, I would love to get a copy of that, because I've been meaning to try and play the Zelda games for the first time, but I just haven't really had a way to do so.
Yeah, damn, Ocarina's my favorite, and A Link to the Past. And obviously Majora's Mask is also pretty classic, so yeah.
If you guys can get a copy of that particular game for me for the GameCube, I will make Zelda the next games that I do videos on. Seriously.
This is Snake.
For Asuero, you want to play, if you haven't played Star Fox, do yourself a huge favor and play Star Fox 64. It's the best one. It's an all-time classic. For Metroid, you can just play any of the Prime games
That's
or
impossible.
Super
The
Metroid
man
are
the boss
generally
is working
considered the
with
best
Volgin
ones of
isn't
those two.
exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
That's another one I got
lost
played
my
too,
gun.
Metroid Prime.
The boss destroyed it.
Snake,
I did play a
know
lot
how
of
you're
GameCube
feeling.
games, even
it's
though
not-
I
Hard for me to believe.
Yeah, it's not
Legendary
like my
hero like
favorite
the
kind of
boss
game,
goes to
but
the Russians.
if you can get into a
Double
Metroid
cross
games,
us like this.
Metroid Prime is
That's
definitely
how
a
it is, and
very,
if you don't
very
accept
solid
it,
game for
You'll
sure.
never be able
the
to
one
beat it.
game though
That's
that
not
I've
the problem.
always
In
wanted
terms
to
of
play,
sheer
but I've
technique,
never
I'll
been
never
able to
be
get a
able to
copy
beat
of
her.
it was
I know that
Eternal
all too
Darkness for the
You've got to
GameCube.
do it, Snake.
'cause-
She's your enemy
Oh
and your
God, I
objective.
had a copy of that and I sold it.
We were together for 10
God
years,
damn it.
and
Yeah.
now you tell
When
me
did you
she's
I'm
not.
sorry.
When did you sell it?
Hurry
This
to the
was
factory
literally
where
like
Adam is waiting.
5-6 months
Scouts have
ago.
probably
It
already
wasn't
been
that
sent out
long
to
ago
investigate
either.
the explosion.
Yeah, I'm
Lost your
sorry.
weapon, right?
You can find it on
it's-
eBay,
No
dude.
chance
It's not
of
that
winning in a
bad,
battle
right?
situation.
Well,
Whatever you
yeah,
do,
it is.
don't let them
Because
see you.
have you seen how much copies the Twin Snakes go for on eBay?
I still have my copy of that. I never will sell a Metal Gear game. I own them all, so.
Oh
I mean,
shit! No, don't run
it
that
was
way.
only like 40 or 50. It was only like 40 or 50, right?
No,
To
it's
get
like
on eBay?
for $120. Shit. I meant to run the other way, and now I'm stuck in caution.
Here's Eternal Darkness for someone's got it listed for 70.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. Here's an auction. It's only at 39.
Love to play Eternal Darkness one day. That's the one game that year by year I'm always telling myself, okay, I'm gonna get a copy of that and I'll play it because it always looks super duper interesting to me. And if you guys know anything about me and the type of stuff that I cover on this channel, you'd understand once you get a look at Eternal Darkness why I would want to play that game really badly. But I just was never able to get a copy. Although, fun fact, I don't think I ever told you this, Steve. I actually met the guy. You know how Eternal Darkness was made by Silicon Knights when they were still around? I actually met the guy who used to lead Silicon Knights, Dennis Dyack. Yeah.
Oh.
No, you don't see me? Shh.
Somebody mentioned that JGN14 mentioned that they might be bringing back the adventure formula based on Roger leaving as the voice of Sonic, other actors leaving, the focus on Monarch Sonic, all the 30th official artwork. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it until I see some footage, at least, of a new game that actually looks like adventure. But I'm just not confident. I'm just not confident in them. If they could make another game that's the caliber of adventure, I'd be pretty happy. But I lost faith that they would find their way long ago.
Just wanted to make sure I blessed his body first.
I mean, they could hire me. Like, I could make an adventure-style remake of, like, Sonic 1, 2, or 3, again, almost in my sleep. Like, give me the level editor. I'll make the level fucking from scratch in, like, an afternoon for every level.
Hey, Phil.
It's not that hard.
Phil says he can't part with it. I'm not asking you to part with it. I'd be happy to send it back to you. I just need it so I can play it. And I need a gun. Yeah, and I got Naked Snake to put on the blackface, so now the stream is officially canceled. Wait till he gets brown face paint, yeah, and that'll be like Justin Trudeau. Okay, come here. I am gonna take your life.
I have to admit, Twin Snakes is pretty expensive on, Oh, not disc here. Damn. Someone's selling only the second disc for $30.
What the fuck? Really? It's that bad, huh? Like, the market.
Well, again, I still have my copy of Twin Snakes, of course, because, you know, I'm gonna keep literally every Metal Gear game, because I own literally all of them. I think there's only, like... I don't have the last-gen versions of Metal Gear Solid 5, but I own every other copy of every other version of every Metal Gear game that was released in North America. I'm pretty sure I'm only missing, like, the PS3 version of Revengeance, and I don't have the Xbox One version of Metal Gear Solid 5. But I have everything else. Pretty sure. Except that I only have, like, one version of all the limited editions. And I never got the, like, stupid expensive Metal Gear Solid 5 collector's edition, whatever. Other than that, I've got pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I do too. I think I own like every version of Metal Gear Solid 2 that there is. Same with Metal Gear Solid 3. And there's only really the one version of Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 5, I own it on all the systems. Yeah. Wow, okay, cool. I guess I am that big of a fan of this game. What was I about to say about the Twin Snakes? Oh yeah, that's a great example. Like the fucking price of the Twin Snakes, and just how it's on very old hardware, and the only way they can play it now is with an emulator. That's a great example of why we need remakes. Like even though like the Twin Snakes is nowhere, like it's very, very flawed, it's still a great game. I still love playing it, but you can't, and it's a shame.
Yeah, you have to have a Wii or a GameCube. Nintendo doesn't support that stuff anymore, which is sad. On the other hand, I could criticize Sony for the same thing. At least Microsoft has full backwards compatibility. Yeah. That's the only good reason to buy a Microsoft console right now, unfortunately.
And the Game Pass.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
But see the woman of the hour, guys. You ready? Get your memes ready. Twin Snakes intro versus DMC3 intro.
Oof.
Sorry I'm late.
Near remake, someone's asking our thoughts, and of course I'm like super hyped.
Me too.
It's preemptively my game of the year almost. Like, what the fuck else is even coming out this year?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be nice if Cyberpunk can actually come out before the end of the year.
I get it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? But what the fuck else is even supposed to come out this year? I've got like no fucking idea off the top of my head.
Trapped. Get down.
Somebody messaged me on Discord saying they tuned into the stream right when I started singing Snake Eater. Listen, I don't know if you're... Like, you know who you are if I'm talking to you. I don't know if you were here before that, but I actually did that for a reason. I did it for the money.
That's
for the money.
a good reason.
Strictly for the money. It's not like I was doing it for other reasons.
There is your answer.
Let me read some of the people saying in the chat before Eva takes her tits out. In that case, I might consider sending it to you. Problem with the Majora's Mask version on the Legacy Collection, though, it might crash. It happened only once or twice to me, but I've heard complaints. So I'll just save. It's okay. Is it really a good idea to pick up a Microsoft console? No. As somebody who used to be a major Xbox loyalist, no.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there. I would actually argue while the Game Pass is great for casual players, if you're hardcore like us and you want to own your games anyway, it doesn't really hold a lot of value. Especially if you only really have time to play like a handful of really good games every year. You could still argue that it's still going to save you money in the long run, but you don't own your games. You're just paying to rent them while you're paying for the service. And that bothered me. I don't like that. At least if you have like Steam games, you own them. You can download them and have them in your hand. I guess they let you do that on Microsoft consoles too, technically, I believe, with Game Pass. But, you know, once you're not paying for the pass anymore, you don't legally own it anymore. So.
Yeah, so if you don't have the opportunity to get a PC, and you can only choose between the consoles, if it basically comes down to this. Do you want to have more games to play for a cheaper price, or do you want higher quality games to play, and you can only really play them every once in a while because you're busy doing other stuff? If you want the more games for a cheaper price, but of slightly less quality, go with the Xbox. If you want games like you're the only type of person that can only play a few games a year and you want them to be of the highest quality, go with the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's probably about right.
Yeah.
It packs quite a punch. Nice to have when you're on a bike.
Gemini Samamai says, Snake just stood there and stared at her for a cool minute like he never saw tits before. I mean,
that's how all men stare at tits.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I've never seen them every time.
Welcome to the male side of the species.
Around here, even that's hard to come.
Someone mentioned JGN14 mentioned the Diamond and Pearl remake. So God, don't remind me. I'm more interested in that other project they showed off recently, which is a Pokemon game that they're actually switching it up and let you throw Pokeballs at Pokemon in the overworld. Oof. That's brand new, innovative. I can't wait to see if that's the only thing in that game that's not the same. But
do you like it?
Yeah.
feeding ramp is
Yeah.
And JGN is 14 is completely right. That's one of the other big things about the Xbox is I wish to God I was in the gaming press just so. Well, if there was also magically no pandemic and we were magically going to have E3 again and there was going to be a Sony conference, I just want to be there to interrupt the whole conference to say to whoever's on stage from Sony, are you guys embarrassed that you can play more PlayStation games on the Xbox yet? Because you really should be. Because you can play more PlayStation games on the Xbox right now than on the fucking PlayStation. Because you can play emulators on it because they have the developer mode on it. So you can put fucking RetroArch on the Xbox Series X and S. Like Modern Vintage Gamer did a video about this, and it's great. So you can play PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games and probably PSP games on a goddamn Xbox.
If you did that, you would break the internet.
I mean, but it's totally legal. That's the best part. If you have the discs, it's totally fucking legal. You just the emulator's legal, and if you own the copies, you can put them in your fucking Xbox and it'll play them. I mean, you know, a PC's still better, but I mean, if you don't have a PC and you gotta choose, like, I'm not gonna lie, that alone would almost sell me on buying an Xbox over a PlayStation.
True.
Just because the PlayStation can't play anything older than PS4 games. On the other hand, there are a lot of really good PlayStation 4 games, so it's kind of a close race.
First, you'll need to head north through the jungle. You'll come to
that is funny though, because like from what I understand, the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible with almost all PlayStation 4 games except for like 10. One of those is PT, but you literally could do that with the Xbox Series S.
Make your way through the warehouse and you'll come out just south of
Snake forgets about Eva as soon as he gets that 45. Hey man, he knows where his he knows where his priorities lie.
In close range combat, a knife can sometimes be more useful than a gun. By doing this, I'll be able to hold a knife at the same time
by the way,
and still keep the gun steady.
I only chose that face makeup because it was useful at the moment. I didn't mean to keep it on. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube.
Right, let's get going.
Wait a minute.
What now?
You must be tired. Why don't you take a little rest?
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
You'll never make it in your condition. It's a jungle out there. There's still an hour before dawn. It's dangerous to be out in the jungle at night without a guide.
What about you?
I have
Go,
to get
Snake.
back. I can't be gone for too long. They'll start to suspect something.
Okay, there's a scene after this where something happens, and I have a question that I want to pose to you, Steve, and the chat, but I'll save it until it happens.
Okay.
My orders are to provide you with information, nothing more.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu.
All right then. I'll do something special for you.
What you want to share something with us?
You're about to ask me, why is Eva getting dressed directly in front of Snake?
Yes. Okay, fine. Yes. Did I ask you this already?
I feel like you have. I swear we've had this conversation before, but
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
It's weird because I feel like we've even played this game on stream before, but maybe I'm just high. I don't know.
I don't know if I can trust.
I don't actually smoke. It's just an expression.
Get the Holy Spirit. This is a good train to go on. You guys ever seen Metal Gear Awesome?
Yes,
of course.
Of course, Metal Gear Awesome, of course.
We were quoting... One thing I do remember from the last two streams we did is all the... Well, mostly just the first one. Is the Metal Gear Awesome references we were doing.
Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU.
You like
Whenever you save
men.
the game and quit,
You can see
you'll
into
go to
my
sleep.
mind?
No.
Sleeping allows you to gain back stamina naturally.
Yeah, that's great.
Depending on how long you sleep, you may also recover naturally from sickness and injury. When you're tired or hurt, the best thing to do is just get some sleep. So do yourself a favor and take a nap.
Since JGN14
Doctor's
asks,
orders, okay?
no, I don't really care for Silver. I don't even... I mean, I've only seen a little bit of him from 06, and I don't... I don't really care what Sonic character is in a Sonic game, as long as it's got, you know, Sonic and it's fun. I don't really care about anything else. I'm willing to have my expectations firmly on the floor. It just has to be fun. As the great patron saint of video games, Reggie Fils-Aimé once said, "If it's not fun, why bother?"
Yeah.
It's the greatest line. Good.
Well, that and his body was ready.
Yeah, his body was ready.
By the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the stream. I actually have a hard out at 10 p.m. So that's in 54 minutes from now.
Oh, that's good. I should also take that out when we get there.
Okay, cool. And if you have to go earlier, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay, guys. Why is she getting dressed in front of us? Like, what was she doing while we were asleep? It's a legitimate question.
What's the matter?
We're surrounded. I see 4 of them.
Yo, Gina, look like a bullet hole to me. Down to fine. Wait.
Don't forget your gear.
Never mind, you're too hot.
Yeah.
Here, give me a hand.
I feel like Kojima's just channeling the anime in him when he has Snake catch Eva undressing. It's just something blatantly anime, I have to admit.
That's just the Japanese, man.
We can use this to get to the basement.
That's the thing. It's actually, I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other day, about, like, the Japanese, they have no problem when it comes to sexualizing a lot of their female characters, but even then, those characters tend to be a lot more well-written than female characters that come out in the West. Like, I've never played Soul Calibur, but this girl I was talking to, she explained to me the character Ivy's backstory from Soul Calibur and how it's really messed up, but really good. Yeah. Good example also with Metal Gear Solid being a Japanese. Okay, so this part. Shit. No. I want to go through here. I recently played Metal Gear Solid 3 when I was doing my Metal Gear Solid 3 retrospective, and when I did, I tried to do a no-kill run, and I did most of the game without any kills, but the one part that I could not do without kills was this part, because it just pissed me off.
Huh.
So I'm just gonna... You fucking... That was a headshot. You guys saw that, right? What the fuck was that? Okay.
I feel you, Jordan Joseph. I'm not... I mean, I don't know. I'm two minds about it. Like... I'm fine with overt sexualization if it's porn, and if it's not porn. As long as it doesn't, like, take anything out of the runtime, I guess I'm willing to accept it just fine.
My head is literally in this dude's ass and he doesn't even notice me. Jesus. Okay. Like, finger off the trigger. Alright. I got 4 of them, so that was surprisingly easy. Now where are the other 4? Or no. 3 of them? Okay. Alright. Where are you bastard, you communist fuckers? Oh, shit! Oh, at least I'm not going for the no alerts. Oh yeah, there's the one guy that's on the roof. I always forget about him. Could you stay the fuck still? There we go. Alright, well now that they found me, I might as well take the, whatever that thing's called, off. Up the ladder, get the guy's... has eyes in the back of his head. Hey! You ain't supposed to be up here.
That reminds me, there's actually an enemy in Xenogears that they actually put the eyes on it in the back of its head. That was so weird.
Voldemort style?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm vaguely remembering, I guess they did that with Voldemort, but...
Okay. I see you, motherfucker.
But yeah, shout out to Xenosaga. I was thinking of Xenosaga, not Xenogears. I hope I said Xenosaga.
Yeah, those are 2 games that people have been begging me to play as well. Xenogears.
Oh yeah. Well, the Gears is probably the one because it's straight up your thing. It's just straight up all about the Jungian stuff, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I remember. I saw someone analyze it a while ago. But it's got like it's loaded with religious symbolism and that kind of stuff too.
Get some.
Xenosaga is much more just really good space opera science fiction with religious symbolism. It doesn't really have the same streak of philosophy like Xenogears does.
Okay.
But they share a lot of iconography and basically visual ideas. But like Xenosaga, I say this all the time whenever I can. If I had to pick what game I liked the first 4 hours of the most, probably Xenosaga Episode 1 is probably at the top of the list.
All right. Right on. I have been playing, like, Xenogears is a turn-based JRPG, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So I have been playing a bunch more Persona lately. Not Persona 4, Persona 5. And I'm getting a hang of it. So if Xenogears has an easy difficulty, I could probably make that my next game. Like, I can purchase it on the PS3, right?
Yeah, you could play that on a PS3.
And the reason why I'm playing it on easy is just because I've had the hardest time playing JRPGs with turn-based combat unless they were called Pokemon. So I find that when it comes to stuff that I'm not very familiar with, it's just better for me to start that way and then build myself up in terms of difficulty. That's how it's always been. All right, where the fuck? Ocelot's supposed to show up, right? Where the hell is he? Or do I have to go down here? Oh, okay, there we go. Cutscene. Dude, Max, please make a video about Xenogears. The amount of religious references in that game is unreal. Okay, dude.
Yep. Yeah, that's what really separates it from Xenosaga is it's got, well, that and the philosophy, I guess.
Can somebody here tell me if I can get it on the PlayStation 3? Because I will get it if I can.
It might even be on the PSN store, dude. Like,
right, that's what I mean.
It's like one of the most iconic games on the PS1.
That's it. That's the stance.
Well, child of that's a great question. Allow me to answer that. So, of course, of course, there are no jungles in Russia. That would be absurd. The climate isn't anything remotely resembling a jungle. However, Harry Gregson Williams insisted that he would not do another game unless it was set in the Amazon. So Kojima's like, all right, I'm all about making my fiction totally bonkers if it's for a cause. And so now magically there's a jungle in Russia. Great reasoning if you ask me.
Wait,
I don't know.
Okay, so I always wondered about that myself. Is that the actual reason?
Well, that's part of the reason. I believe that story is actually true, but this is something that Kojima decided early on that he wanted to have the game have a theme of jungle focus. And it probably organically happened from there. I'd have to look at it and verify it again myself, but both of those reasons sound pretty plausible to me. I know the thing about Harry Gregson Williams is true, though. I've heard that before.
God damn it. You could have just gone back and get the guys that did the first game. Like, don't get me wrong. Harry Gregson Williams is great.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, because it wasn't Harry Gregson Williams for the first game. It was some group named Cappy.
Okay, here I got a quote from Kojima. I pulled it very easily. He basically talked about how he decided that since he wanted it to be more a survival game and wanted to take place in the 60s, he thought it should take place in the jungle. Basically a direct quote from him.
So fuck ecological consistency, I guess.
Well, you know, if he can change like the most ridiculous shit into the other most ridiculous shit you can think of. I think this is really low on the ridiculous shit scale.
I suppose it is kind of a testament to how good of a creator Hideo Kojima is, where he can take that ridiculous shit and somehow make it not ridiculous and actually compelling.
This isn't over yet.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. And someone says, yes, Xenogears is on the PS3 PSN, as it should be. I'd be really shocked if it wasn't.
Thank you, Bernardez. How long would it take for me to get through that game, do you think?
Damn it.
like another one of those 100-hour-long JRPGs?
It's closer to like a 40.
Okay. Maybe I'll get it. I've been trying to figure out... This thing is like, oh, that's so cool. Trying to think about what game I should do next. Because I have been going through Persona, but those games are famously long. So, yeah. I was thinking about maybe... Because I heard What Remains of Edith Finch is actually a pretty short game. Maybe I could do that one next. Alright. So, if I remember correctly... We have to go through a swamp, and then we find Ocelot, and then we fall into the big hole, and then we should be done for the night, I think. 40 hours-ish? Okay, that's fine. Also, okay, so there's Xenosaga, Xenogears, and then
Xenoblade, and
right.
then Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, there's a difference? Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, don't worry. Xenoblade Chronicles is still in the same continuity as Xenoblade. So,
okay.
They share a lot of elements from that reason. It's just Xenogears and Xenosaga, which are the two completely other different stories and series. That they just share, like, they're kind of like Final Fantasy in that they just share a lot of elements together, even though the stories are completely different.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, I've actually... I have been thinking of getting a Switch because a lot of people have been also recommending Xenoblade to me, and Xenoblade Chronicles is on the Switch. Plus, I've also been hoping...
I have played all the way through Xenoblade, the original, but not the Chronicles X ones.
Okay.
So,
Snake,
I wish I could comment.
Eva?
But Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, which was on the Wii, is definitely a classic JRPG, very traditional. They hit all the usual JRPG stuff.
Yeah, she's here too.
Better be careful.
Thanks, I will.
How do you guys feel about the first 5 Halo games and their religious references? I didn't know they had a lot of religious references. I just know that...
But I will say, I feel like Halo died after Halo 3, and it was buried after Reach, so I don't know what you mean by 5. I was only aware of the 3 and then the other one that Bungie made before they went off to do something else.
Yeah, look, Halo Reach, I fucking love it, but I understand why people have such an affinity for Halo 3, and I understand why people think that its peak was there. I happen to think that Halo 4 was a very good game, even though it was a step down in a lot of respects, but, and we've had this conversation before, Steve, everybody agrees that Halo 5 sucks penis.
Yeah. I could easily make an entire video like talking about how Halo 4 basically foreshadowed that Halo 5 would be as bad as it is. And that, by the way, we're only going to get a worse game next. Like, I
don't want to think about it. Just don't even
I know,
say that.
but I like to think about the fact that every single major person who was on the development of Halo Infinite has left. Except that I believe they brought back one person. I can't remember who it is.
Joseph Staten. He was the original writer.
That's the guy. There we are. And then they delayed Infinite a year. Okay, pro tip. If you're delaying your game a year, you're basically saying to anyone intelligent to know what's going on that they're going to have to completely gut the game and then try to remake as much as they can.
Even if it is a lie.
There's just like, can you think of any other situation where a game has been delayed a full year that had a planned release date? Because I can't. They always delay it like 3 to 6 months at most, right? Like,
yeah,
at least at a time. Like Cyberpunk was delayed more than a year total, but at a time they still only delayed it like 3 to 6 months at a time.
Right.
So, I mean, that's literally like. The video game industry is the only industry where when you hear that literally everyone has left their job at one workplace, you don't go, wow, that must be the most toxic fucking workplace imaginable. Instead, you go, oh, I hope the game's still good. Like, it just blows my mind that we still think that isn't a sign that these people are being completely mistreated, mostly by the publisher's demands. So...
What am I doing? Camouflage. There we go. I need less people saying that I'm a racist in the chat. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Yeah, the gaming industry. Well, oh, shit. I forgot about those. This is what happens when I'm trying to read the chat and be sneaky at the same time. Okay, there are claymores here. And let's just... Yeah, let's do this quickly. Ointment, right? Then bandage. Okay, yeah, I don't need to watch Snake putting on a bandage. He's a big boy. I'm sure he can do it. Eat. Yes, and I know he loves to eat snakes. Okay. Back in business. Yeah, Halo Reach and Halo ODST was pretty good. Yeah, I don't think, like you said, there is a game that has been delayed a full year when it has a release date. There have been games that have been delayed, like, big time. Like Vampire the Masquerade 2. That's one of them. Where... Oh yeah, I climbed the tree.
So it is definitely an open question just how much of the game they're going to change in that year. Based on what we saw at the one reveal event, that the graphics, of course, were famously subpar at. So it's... I feel very bad for everyone working at that studio, I will say. So I genuinely feel like Microsoft, like you said before, used to be hardcore 360 fan, and so was I. I still have literally a stack of like 80 360 games in this room right now. It's, you know, there's no console I own that comes anywhere close to the number of games I have for the 360.
Yeah, I think.
And it's because it was when video games were truly at their height, I feel. Like if there was any period, it was during the 360 era for sure.
Fucking Halo 3,
well,
Bioshock.
in terms of quantity, I would probably say the PS2 era was technically the best time ever to be a video game fan. Technically.
Yeah.
But like, in terms of the quantity of high quality games, I think the 360 has it beat, even if the quality probably belongs to the PS2.
Yeah, because what do you have on the PS2? You have Shadow of the Colossus, you have all the original Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
You got Final Fantasy X, you've got Devil May Cry 1 and 3, you've got God Hand, you've got Christ, like, Xenosaga was on the PS2, we were just talking about that. Like Kingdom Hearts, like Jesus. They got Silent Hill 2 and 3.
Silent Hill 2, yes, of course.
Yeah, like I mean, like literally every Resident Evil 4, like literally every game that's on a short list for best game ever made was probably on the PS2, with like very rare exception, honestly.
And I find it hard to believe that we'll ever get another era that was like that era.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, I think it's mostly because of economics why we can't get back there.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons the 360 era was good, because it was at the tail end before the recession. And I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation before, even on the stream, but the greatest year in video games was probably 2007.
Yeah.
If you look at the list of every game that came out that year.
Bioshock and Halo 3.
Oh yeah, and it's way bigger than that. You've got the orange box, you've got the first Mass Effect, you've got the best Call of Duty game, Call of Duty 4, that inspired a generation of brown shooters.
Straight up.
I mean, you know, it's like baffling how many good games came out in 2007.
I need a fucking mouse.
Rock Band, Guitar Hero 3.
God, the hours Guitar Hero 2.
Mirror's Edge might have even come out that year. I had the first Assassin's Creed, the only one that actually had a good writer.
The first Assassin's Creed?
The
one with
Assassin's
Altair?
Creed was 2007. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Go to bed.
And of course, like we said, Halo 3. I think even, was it Grand Theft Auto 4 was that year?
No, Grand Theft Auto 4 was 2008.
Okay, never mind then.
Which is a good game, by the way.
It was a pretty good game, yeah.
I know a lot of people like to shit on Grand Theft Auto 4 looking back on it, but...
It was a pretty good game still.
Yeah. God, I spent so many hours in that game just flying around on the helicopter with my buddy Alex, just shooting people from above, just trolling them. That game's free roam was some of the greatest nights of my life. Just laughing my ass off playing that on the 360. All right, here's our man, the Purdy boy.
Here at last. Looks like the boss's info was right.
Come on, growl for me. Growl for me. Give me the energy to kick your ass.
God, yeah, Portal. That's right, because that was in the orange box. Yeah, that's right.
Twice now.
But yeah, then the recession hit, and then I think ever since that recession, we've basically been looking at the fallout. That's okay. I know what that was for, obviously. But I really think that the world we see today with all these loot boxes and these failed live service games like Anthem, you know, I think this is all largely still a result of the post-recession world.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the post-recession world, unless you were a big publisher, you died. Or unless you got bought out and disassembled by a big publisher, you also died.
Power! Excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, like as soon as Mass Effect 1 came out in 2007, immediately they announced that EA bought them. And we've been facing the fallout of that ever since because they're not smart enough like Bungie to leave.
Yep.
Like Bungie left Microsoft and went from the hand of one douchebag into the hand of another douchebag.
Into a worse douchebag somehow.
Yeah.
12 shots.
Who's like, yeah, why don't you guys just make us a live service game before they were even a thing? It's entirely possible Bungie on their own decided they wanted to make it and that they were the first studio that started a trend that made everyone else want to chase it. You know, I played The Division, I played the first Destiny, I played the beta for The Division 2. I had no interest in trying Destiny 2 because it looked too similar.
Yeah, it was. I kind of regret... I played it quite a bit, both of them, and I regret it. Hopefully, now that they're no longer under Activision, whatever they make next will sort of be the true successor to Halo.
I sure hope so, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I think they've exhausted my goodwill.
Yeah,
I hope they do something good, but I'm not super enthusiastic. I've lost like all my faith in every Western game development studio, especially after CD Projekt Red, which is just completely released the early access game that is Cyberpunk 2077.
My hat! No, I didn't want to shoot his hat. I wanted to shoot his fucking head. Okay, well, there is Sucker Punch, and there is Insomniac, and there is Playdead.
That's true. Obviously, I did really like Ghost of Tsushima, so I would give them... I suppose I'd definitely still give them really good credit. And, what was the other studio you said?
Insomniac.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'd have to... Still gotta play Spider-Man.
Have you ever played Limbo or Inside?
I've seen Limbo enough that I respect it, and I don't know anything about Inside.
I forgot that you could skip those cutscenes. Yeah, Limbo and Inside are two of the greatest games made in the last 10 years, in my opinion. Especially Inside. It's such a masterpiece. And you can finish it pretty quickly. Sit still, you growling asshole. Kojima wouldn't have furries in his game.
Thank you, Travis G. That's very nice of you. Travis G's comment.
Please continue doing joint content together. Y'all are YouTube content soulmates. Yeah, well, I agree. That's why I brought him on to do these. Let's see, where did he go? I've never felt... Okay, yeah, sexual problems. Never felt a tension like this before.
I've seen a couple people in the comments have been talking about like how they might have preferred the second Assassin's Creed over the first one. God, that's a whole video I could do. But basically it comes down to the fact that the first Assassin's Creed had a much stronger thematic identity in the story than the second one. While the second one might have overall, on paper, seemed like a more interesting story. In isolation, you could argue some of the writing is a little better, but I think as a whole package, the first Assassin's Creed is a much more interesting game in execution and concept, and to talk about. So I might eventually talk about the first Assassin's Creed, if I get around to it, although I almost want to say I don't think I will.
God damn it. Oh. You were the one hiding behind the rock. Fucking hell. Ow. Usually I have no problem with this guy.
Amazing. I never knew reloading.
Get out from behind the fucking big oak there. He's got his homies laughing after him. Alright. Come on out. Don't you do that. Don't put me in a cutscene. You don't need to do that. Oh. I'm gonna cheese you. Oh, no I'm not.
Yeah, the incentive to create Destiny probably was to be a Borderlands clone. Someone said that too. I can't.
Yeah, I guess Borderlands did.
I don't even think about Borderlands. I didn't like Borderlands to begin with, the first 2 games in the series, but I understand the appeal. It just didn't really get to me.
Well, I actually have an interesting history with Borderlands.
Damn it.
So, as you know, I used to play a whole bunch of 360 online back in the day. I had a whole bunch of friends that I used to play Halo a lot with there. And when Borderlands was coming out, it seemed like the sort of ideal game for us. And we all collectively agreed, yep, when this game comes out, we're going to play it, we're all going to play it together. And I never did. And they never let me live that down. And then when Borderlands 2 came out, I was like, okay, no, totally this time, we're totally going to play it. I'm going to go down to the EB Games, which is what they call GameStop up here, right by my university, get it, we're going to play it. Well, I rented it, and I played it for like a day, and then never played it after that. And so Borderlands 3 came out, and I was like, no, you know what? This time.
Oh, no.
And then, yeah, and then as I was saying that, they're like, Max, you're not going to do it. And then I said, yeah, you're right, I'm not going to do it.
Oh my god, that's so bad. But that's almost as bad as I've had it. I think the only Borderlands I've actually played is like 2, and I'm just like bored so bad to play that game. It's just not enough. Like, even Destiny's better than Borderlands. Like, it's just,
yeah.
At least Destiny has a little bit more going on than just get loot, continue to kill dudes, walk forward. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a bit more of a bit more dynamism and a bit more skill required to play Destiny. Okay, so now we're in this fucking part of the game. Why am I carrying all this shit? Let me get rid of it.
Although, admittedly, I think the award for the worst video game story ever conceived probably goes to Destiny. I can't think of a worst story I've ever played through in my life. That includes literally every Call of Duty game up to Advanced Warfare.
Well, it didn't have a story. That's the problem.
Exactly.
I mean, it looked like it was supposed to.
I believe the head writer walked a year before the game was going to come out.
Yes, yeah.
And from what I recall, they just literally had to piece something together at the last minute.
Well, if you look at the promotional material, like if you watched Angry Joe's original review of that, he actually investigates a whole bunch of the original promo trailers that came out for it, and it definitely looked like there was supposed to be a lot more story because you get all this dialogue from a whole bunch of characters that, that you only see speak once or twice in the game, but like they're saying all this shit in the trailers, and they just cut it out. Nobody knows why. I guess Joseph Staten, who was the guy who wrote the original story, sort of has an NDA on that. And it's too bad because from what I understand, the lore for Destiny is apparently fucking amazing. I don't have the desire to look into it.
But that's the worst thing. Is if you've got a terrible game, but the wikis are really fun. I mean, it's like, well, then no one should even get as far as wanting to read the wiki, in my opinion. Like, you got to make the game good first. Also, some people are saying, like, Destiny is not better than Borderlands. Borderlands is leagues better. I don't necessarily disagree, but based on game feel, that's why I made my decision. When I said that I personally prefer Destiny over Borderlands, I say that entirely for game feel. I understand that just the promotional material I've seen for Borderlands alone shows that their writers are way better than Destiny ever was going to be.
Well, that is true, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I found the torch. Now you guys should be able to see a little bit better. Hopefully we can get out of this real quick. I hate this part.
Also, you've got a super chat you should probably read.
Oh, Child of... Yeah. says, why do you think the video game industry is so toxic given the billions of dollars it generates? Shouldn't there be enough loot to go around? No, well, see, here's the problem. There are certain game companies that realized how profitable it is and how successful they can be in injecting certain monetary practices into their games. That's why, despite the fact that gamers continue to complain about microtransactions and all that in their games, they will forever and always put them into their games because they're idiot gamers that play games like Madden or FIFA and continue to pump money into those games despite the fact that they become obsolete after a year. And the companies are like, why would we stop doing this when we got a whole bunch of suckers willing to give us all this money? And so, as a result, because it has made them so much money, they're going to continue to keep doing it. And thankfully, and I say thankfully in the most sarcastic way, well, almost completely sarcastic way possible, we do have game companies like Rockstar, who, despite the fact that they're making more money than Jesus and Allah combined with fucking Red Dead and GTA, at least they're putting effort into their single player. But even then, they're fucking up what could have been an amazing multiplayer experience with the fucking shark cards. And whatever they're doing with Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't even want to know. And that will continue for as long as people continue to give them money for that shit. And I have no idea. Do I go through here? Fuck, I don't know. Where am I going, guys? Do I have to... Wait, what am I...
I think you're going the right way.
Do I go down this, maybe?
As long as you're heading northeast, you're doing the right thing.
Okay, Zion Buying also sends in another $5. Thanks so much, dude. As somebody who's logged in 2,000 hours in... Oh, fucking... Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Zion Buying, I forgot to mention, guys. Big Halo speedrunner. He's the man, and he's actually been helping me with a lot of that stuff. As someone who's logged 2,000 plus hours in Borderlands 2 alone, I can tell you that the game's scaling is bad and its engine is ancient. Still a fun game, in my opinion. Yeah. I wouldn't know, because I never played it. Yeah. Okay, where are we now? Please don't tell me we're like
Someone
right back.
said, paraphrasing Jim Stefani Sterling, they don't want to make a lot of money, they want to make all of the money. I've seen the video where he says that, and that is unfortunately very true. That is basically what is going on. That's why we had the whole Battlefront 2 fiasco with them literally wanting to charge you obscene amounts of money or obscene amounts of time to unlock characters.
Just
it's
why?
They want to keep, you know, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. It's just like Max said. They found out, hey, this makes us lots of money. Let's do it even more and keep making more money.
Yep. So if you guys want that to stop happening, you have to never purchase microtransactions ever, and you got to tell all your friends to stop doing it as well. Otherwise, games will continue to go down the route that they're going. I found a ration here. Great. What a waste of time. Nothing
Thankfully,
else?
I've let me think. I've never bought a loot box in my life. I have spent... So for only counting non-like DLC packs that like, so if you're only counting DLC of any kind that doesn't include like story content, I've only ever spent in my life $35 about. One of that was from Pokemon Go, and another one was actually from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mobile game. And this was after I'd been playing both of them for a very, very long time that I spent, like, again, like $35 combined. And then I instantly regretted it in both cases, or at least in one case. In the other one, I later was like, I probably shouldn't have spent that. But, you know, at least those games are free.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it that much better, but it does make it better that they don't charge you $60 and then ask for more money.
I will say this: if your game is free and your business model is based off of microtransactions, and most of those microtransactions are like aesthetics, that's cool. Like, I get that makes sense.
Yeah.
But if your game is built in a way where progression is innately tied to how much money you're willing to spend, and you know how I went back the exact same way that I came. I don't know where the hell I'm going. But yeah, you get my point. Whatever point I was trying to make. God, am I gonna have enough time to beat the pain before we get out of here?
Oh, someone mentioned they're surprised Blizzard's still a company. Oh boy. Oh yeah, Blizzard. A whole nother can of worms. It's like...
Do not buy that fucking Diablo mobile game, please.
Yeah. Don't you guys have phones?
I swear to God.
Last words. Famous last words.
If I ever meet somebody that has that on their phone, I swear to God, I'll pick it up and break it just to make a statement. And yes, I'll pay for the phone. I will pay for the phone to replace it afterwards, but I just want...
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, if you're willing to pay for the phone. Okay.
Well, don't get me wrong, like, I'd record it, like, I'd put it up on YouTube so that way I could get enough ad revenue to get the money to fund the phone. Am I going...
I was never a huge Blizzard fan. I don't think I've played, like, almost any of their games, but obviously I'm aware that they used to be a good company before they wanted to kowtow to the Chinese government also.
Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of which, I want to see everybody, and I mean everybody, in this chat, right? Fuck the hot Chinese government. Now. Like Randy Marsh style. Where am I? Seriously, guys, I do not know where I'm going. This is the one part of the game that always messed me up. So if you guys could tell me, please.
Okay, so... God, I feel like I should know this off the top of my head.
This comment was removed by the CCP. Yeah. Max, you never do that. Nah, yeah, you know, I'm just being facetious. I would never break somebody's phone. But they and I would have words, let's just say that. Maybe I go this way? Oh, okay. I think I found the way. Never mind. We're good. We're gravy, baby. We're gonna go shoot a guy whose body's covered with bees. Why am I backing in backwards? Because it's bootleg, that's why. That's some integrity right there, yeah. That's one thing that I really missed this entire pandemic was South Park. When they come back, though, that's going to be the greatest season ever.
They do have a ridiculous amount of material to work with.
All hail Winnie the... Yeah, exactly. What was the name of that game that got banned because the Taiwanese put a reference to Xi Jinping as Winnie the Pooh in their game?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Somebody tell me what the name of that game was. I know somebody here will know what it's called. Okay, we're almost out, guys. We're almost about to go fight the bee's knees, and we do not want to go down there. I feel like we're going to. Shit. Do I want to go down this hole? Isn't this where I just was? Yeah, it was.
We do not want to go down that hole.
Yeah, we do not want to go down this hole. Bad hole. Very bad hole. Yeah, okay. Maybe there was something up here that I missed. Like, it's so weird. Sometimes I play this section of the game and I can get through it in like 2 or 3
minutes. You go back to that big area with all the bats, and I think you just took the wrong exit out of that room.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think. I literally have the original guide for Metal Gear Solid 3 sitting over here.
Oh, really?
Well, on top of one of my pieces of furniture in the room.
That's cool.
I bought it the day the game came out. I have the original guide still from that day in 2004? Was it? I believe it came out in 2004.
Okay, this isn't the room. In that one room, just let me... Why are you going in backwards, Snake? That's stupid. A seizure. Yeah, somebody please tell me where the hell I need to go.
Alright. Well, give me a second then.
While you're doing that, I'm just gonna get my sip on real quick. Hopefully we'll find our way out in the next 15 minutes, so then I can beat the pain, and then we'll be done for the night. Yeah, this is where I came. Couldn't go down there. So, am I supposed to... maybe that area up there? Okay, so this is at the bottom of the waterfall. We want to go to the top of the waterfall, I think. No, I'm playing this on my Xbox One. Yeah, a funny fact, the HD version of the Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 came out on the same day that Skyrim came out. And back then I wasn't as big of an Elder Scrolls fan. So when it came out, all my friends were wanting to play Skyrim. And I was like, fuck that, I'm getting this shit. This is where it's at. And then, obviously, Skyrim became one of the greatest games ever. Yada, yada, yada. I'm still in a tweed.
Okay. Where
Thank you.
are we?
Saved my life. Hey Max, have you ever played Deadly Premonition? No sir, I have not. I think it is on my list of games to get to, though. Don't you bite me. Don't you... No, you're gonna bite me. He bit me. Okay, well, thankfully I have serum for that. Plus, I kind of liked it. But anyways, that's besides the point. Where is the serum? Is it... Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So it looks like you go to the very middle room, and there's an exit on the northeast side. I believe you crawl through it, it looks like.
The very middle room, yep.
Yeah, I think you have to be on the second level of the middle room.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we haven't been here. So, hold on a second. I thought I came through here when I guess I fucked that up big time.
Right, yeah, you see on that map it even shows you there's the northeast side.
Yep, we're out, boys. We're the exact opposite of in, like Flynn. We are out. Like Flint. I don't know. Outro. Let me get my gun ready. Yep. Do I have any other guns besides the pistol? Let me check that very quickly. Okay, we don't need the stun grenades because we're not going for... We're not trying to be badasses.
Thanks for stopping by, Javier. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good night, Javier. Thanks so much, dude. We have the AK, so that's good. We should be able to make quick work of pain. I'm kind of just getting tired of this place, so... Ooh, shotgun. There we go. And,
I still have the original guidebook also. It's not in perfect shape.
Mm-hmm.
I have the original guidebook for The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's like 25 years old now.
I think the only guidebook that I ever owned and seriously used was Pokemon Crystal.
Nice.
That thing went with me anytime we went in the car. It was my Game Boy Advance, Pokemon Crystal, and that guidebook.
Nice. Yeah, I the second generation was the last one that I was like fully invested in.
Yes.
I
same.
checked out after that.
I didn't care about Ruby and Sapphire for whatever reason.
Me either. That's funny. It was no particular reason at the time, me either, that I just checked out. I eventually played them. They were the very last Pokemon generation I actually played all the way through at a later date. But I hear like the Salt Factory has this like epic multi-hour long analysis or like kind of overview of all the mainline Pokemon games, like the first 7 generations, and apparently Gen 5 is largely considered like the best one after Gen 2.
So what's that? It's what came after Ruby and Sapphire?
Oh fuck. Diamond and Pearl, and then the
Black
one
and
after that, I want to say is Black and White, yeah.
Okay.
They did some interesting things with the Black and White story that make it stand out, apparently.
Have you guys played Platinum? No. I don't even know what that is.
No, that's like the crystal of the Diamond and Pearl generation.
Okay.
It's like the come along later, slightly improved edition.
By the way, one of my favorite childhood memories was when my mother, she was in the grocery store and I was inside the car, 30 minutes just playing Pokemon Crystal. And in that period of time when she was in that store, I managed to capture both Entei and Raikou, who were two of the legendary, two of the legendary beasts.
Yeah, that's incredibly lucky to see them in that short amount of time.
Well, if you know the exploit.
Which one?
It's like one of the first routes that you go through in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to just kind of go past one point in that route and then go back and forth and just run through this one patch of grass until they show up. And it actually works. Get back on the rock, Snake. Shit.
Yeah, everybody's... I mentioned in chat that they love the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which are like the remakes of the Gen 2s.
Mm-hmm. I would have loved to.
Love that too.
I would have loved to play them. I just never had a 3DS.
Me either.
I was
Game Boy Advance was the last Nintendo portable I owned. I never felt compelled to get a DS. The emulator got pretty good pretty fast anyway. So
I wouldn't mind getting one of those.
I mean, Christ, I played through Kingdom Hearts 3 258 over 2 on the emulator.
What the fuck? Get under the water, Snake! Shit! You're getting stung by bees! It's the matter. You're throwing fucking the lives of these innocent little bees away. That's what's the matter. Okay, got it. Yeah, I will get back into Pokemon the day they make a Pokemon MMO.
Yeah, they should have made that a long time ago. That's the big problem. It so deserves an MMO. The concept is so obvious.
But it would kill World of Warcraft.
It's not just that Nintendo is a victim of their own success and lazy. It's also that they're run by old Japanese people who have this philosophy that it's like, it's my way, it's highway. You're either going to play the game the way we want it, or we're not going to want you to play it at all, which is another reason that they're super against any kind of emulators and ROMs. Basically.
Yeah, like the whole thing with Melee a couple months ago.
Yeah, even if they're not even going to make money off of it anymore, like they don't sell Melee, so it makes no fucking sense for them to have a problem with the Melee tournament.
They want people to fucking buy
the new one,
which everybody already has.
Yeah, it's just that they're spiteful. Again, it's this whole idea of them being run by old Japanese businessmen. It's their way or the highway. If you're playing it wrong, then we don't want you to play it. And they don't want tournaments to happen that they don't approve of, that they don't sanction, and they don't even like the fact that Melee is even used competitively at all. They hate it. They actively would love to kill every possible, professional Smash Brothers scene. If I recall correctly, they have never, maybe it was one time they officially sanctioned a tournament but then changed their mind. I can't remember if there actually was one time when they actually allowed it. Because all I hear is the bad. I'm sure there might have been one or two times, but that whole thing where they were pissed off at people for using the Slippy mod to play Melee online. I mean, come the fuck on, man.
I didn't even know that was a thing until I heard about it.
It
pissed me off because Melee is one of my top 10 favorite games ever made.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I'm definitely very impressed by the whole Melee scene. It's fascinating. I've seen documentaries about it, for fuck's sake, on YouTube. It's just very impressive what they've done with that game to make it so competitive.
I just want this fucking guy to die. Let's go. Steve wants to go too.
Well, I will soon either way.
Okay. Cure, serum. Oh no, wait. Do I pull it out with the What do I do with this? I don't know. Fuck it. I'm just gonna press everything. There we go. I don't even know what I pressed. Get up off your ass, Pain.
Attack!
Alright, we're almost done here, boys. And then as soon as the Pain is dead and we're out of the cutscene, we're done for tonight. And thank you so much to everybody who's hung out with us for the last 3 hours. According to my stats, we've had 3,746 playbacks, which is pretty good. Stop. Enough with your fucking bees carrying your grenades. And I deserve that.
I still got the poster. I never took it out of my guidebook. It's still in the back.
Die! No. Shit. So close.
It's alright, you'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's...
I think I'm looking at the most unfortunate advertisement I've ever seen in my life inside the end of this guide.
What's that?
You're not going to believe this.
Okay, what?
There's a page that says Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater advertising campaign. I mean, this came out in like 2004, so I'm baffled that they did this. And then there's a line that says, "We have solid proof of their weapons of mass destruction." Oh my god. I can't believe they did that. This is 2004. Like, this is already after we knew that the Iraq thing was a load of bullshit. That is like way too soon for them to say this crap.
They're games journalists. Or, well, no.
Well, I don't know who wrote this guide. I think it was Brady Games. I'm not sure what this is. You know.
Anyways, on that note, we're done, guys. I'm gonna save this game, and we're gonna hear Paramedic's little spiel about Godzilla, and then we're done. Steve, thanks as always, man.
Oh yeah, of course.
And hopefully we can get this done a little bit sooner rather than later. I wanted to have somebody else on with me tonight, but there was schedule conflicts. Hopefully we can bring her on next time.
Hey, Snake.
I do not care about Gojira. I mean, I do, but I don't. What?
Gojira. Oh, I thought you were saying Godzilla in Japanese.
Look out! It's Gojira! It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla!
Oh,
No,
is that a Futurama?
No, that's Austin Powers.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Great movie. All right, thank you guys so much for joining, and thank you so much for all your generosity with those... with the super chats. I'm going to regret this tomorrow morning. I'm going to be a meme that PewDiePie reviews probably in a couple days. Hopefully not. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed time together. And yeah, hopefully we might do this again next week. If not, then I'll probably be streaming Cry of Fear with Reinstall Paul. Stay tuned for that. And then my next video is going to be on something regarding Dark Souls and Bloodborne. So stay tuned for that. Steve, do you want to tell people where they can find you online?
Yeah, at LogosSteve on Twitter, and my YouTube channel is also just LogosSteve.
And you can find his link to his channel in the description box below. Thank you guys, and let's all go to bed. Have a good rest of your week, and most